What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Competitive Standard 40K. Here with my buddy Nick. We got a great game for you today. He's running a competitive triple Lord of Skulls list, and I'm playing a spliced up Death Guard with some Warptime souped in there. And it should be a really good game, so excited to see how this goes. We will run you through the models, mission, and everything. So why don't we take a look at the Death Guard army first? Cool. So today I've got 10 Blight Lords and Mortarion. That's kind of the core. We do have 3 Death Shroud as well, so 13 Terminators in total. I've got 10 Poxwalkers, 3 characters you'll see right there, which are the Blight Spawn, the Tallyman, and the Plague Caster. I also have 2 Plague Burst Crawlers way in the back, and Blight Drone, and Morty himself. And then to help out is the Word Bearers Patrol with a 10-man Cultist Squad, and the Sorcerer, who's given me Warptime and Death Hex. So a lot of army capabilities there, kind of the synergy between those two, and we hope to show that off today. I don't know if flinging Mortarion up turn 1 is going to be the greatest play because I'm facing 3 Lord of Skulls over here, but I'll just break down where my guys showed up. So I've got kind of 2 clusters behind runes over here. One side here is the 5 Blight Lords and 3 Death Shroud. Got some Poxwalkers behind to kind of fill out onto objectives. My 3 characters have wound up here, 4 characters including the Word Bearer Sorcerer, Mortarion himself, dead center. And then behind this room, we've got 10 cultists, the other 5-man Blight Lord squad, a drone with the flesh mower, and then in the corner behind the runes is both of my Plague Burst Crawlers. The idea there is that he's got Titanic models. He can't use obscuring well, but I can, so I'm going to hide behind the runes and blast him as long as possible. So why don't we cut to the Lord of Skulls army, and then we'll show you where those models wound up.
Yeah, what's up guys? Nick here. I brought a triple Lord of Skulls list that's with 3 Lord of Skulls as Iron Warriors. To support them, we have a patrol of Chaos Space Marines. We have a Lord Discordant. There's a Master of Possession. They both buff the Lord of Skulls. There's 10 World Eaters Cultists for that 4 up the Nice strat. And we have a Demon Patrol with the Blood Throne. That's for the Crimson Crown Relic. And some Obsec Nurglings and Demonettes.
Sweet. Yeah, so why don't you show us where those models wound up today, deployment-wise?
Absolutely. So this is a bit of a skew list, and so it's going to need to play a bit more aggressively. It needs to do damage, so we have all 3 of the Lord of Skulls on the line, ready to move forward. We have tucked behind them the Master Possession and the Blood Throne. They're relatively slow. They need to be up close to the Lord of Skulls for support. And we have a hidden Lord Discordant. He doesn't want to get damage taken first turn, and some banners raising infantry tucked behind ruins, able to walk onto objectives, raise some banners.
Yeah, so that kind of ties us into the secondaries talk, so why don't we go into that for a bit. So we've chosen some similar secondaries today. I have banners, While We Stand We Fight, and Titan Hunter, and I believe you have banners, While We Stand We Fight, and Assassinate?
I took Engage in the end because I realized I needed to come up the board and get up there. Assassinate is going to be pretty tough because you can just hide those Death Guard characters behind those Death Shrouds.
Absolutely. We had an interesting talk. We have a lot of kind of nuances to both of these armies right now that we can do a little pregame intro about. Going to be a very interesting game with those considerations. So if we talk about secondaries, on this mission, which is mission 11, on a map with 6 objectives, particularly 3 in your deployment zone, you're going to score well on primary, and you're also in a great position to raise banners. So I think banners, if you have the infantry models, is a no-brainer. I think he recognized that as well, and he's got his banner set up as well. For While We Stand We Fight, for my army, it's Mortarion and 2 5-man Blight Lord squads. So traditionally, the Blight Lords do a lot of work, but against his army, I don't want to overextend them because they are key points for me. And Mortarion himself, because I can't hide him behind obscuring, he's going to be taking damage either way. So that's not much I can do about, but going for a 10 on While We Stand is definitely reasonable and what I should be aiming to do. And then the last one is Titan Hunter, which against an army that has Titanic units is almost always a no-brainer if you have the means to remove those models. Between the Entropy Cannons and Mortarion, I'm hoping I can pick up 1, get those 10 points, and then after that, be in a pretty decent spot to score well. Yeah, so that's kind of my thinking. Why don't you talk about your secondary thought process a little bit?
Absolutely. So While We Stand We Fight seemed like an auto take. I think he's going to be able to remove 1, but still I can get 10, and that's an easier 10 than something like Scramblers. Banners, likewise, I think holding 2 objectives solidly would still give me 10 on banners. So that one also relatively straightforward. The third decision, though, is a bit tough. I was going between assassinates, thinking if I go forward. However, it's just too easy for him to hide 4 of his characters. Sure, I can get shots of Mortarion turn 1 because he can't be blocked by obscuring, but I can't do reliably more than 3 on assassinate. So I went with engage. I do have Nurglings. They're tucked right in there. They're able to jump forward, maybe get me an early engage, and maybe I swing up Lord of Skulls up a flank for another engage.
Yeah, I think the consideration you made about assassinate makes a lot of sense. You know, you would be put pressure onto removing my other characters, and then once I recognized that you took that secondary, it would be really easy for me to pull back those characters and deny you those points. And so something we've been talking about in our tactical tips and tricks series is this path to victory, and that video should be coming out soon. But an important part of the path to victory is after you've chosen your secondaries, specifically once you've looked at the mission as well, you have to recognize how you can win the game, and it's not necessarily the playstyle that your army generally does. So my army and his army are both rather aggressive, but once we've both chosen secondaries, you kind of line up and match the two up to recognize where you will score more points than your opponent. So what is the point differential on secondaries and primary? So on this kind of mission with the 6 objectives, we're both likely to have a very high primary score, so it's going to come down to secondaries to determine who wins. So after I've chosen my secondaries, I recognize that I need to keep my Blight Lords alive to get those while we stand we fight points, and assuming we tie on banners and we tie on while we stand, it comes down to me scoring Titan Hunter and him scoring engage points, and that's kind of going to be where the differential comes. Additionally, he has play if he manages to remove a Blight Lord squad, then there's some other considerations there, but I'm recognizing that my path to victory involves holding primary, tying him on primary at least, and then matching him on banners, matching him on while we stand, and then ultimately pulling out a slight win by getting 1 of his Titan models removed and protecting at least 1 or 2 of my Blight Lord squads. And that therefore then forces him to play aggressively, because he recognizes that if he just sits around and tries to keep his while he stands up, he's going to kind of not score enough on some of the other places that he kind of needs to win. So it's an interesting way that the mission primary and secondaries kind of come together to force one player to play more aggressively than they might. And I think as much as you would love to kind of hide to some extent from the Titan Hunter play, you kind of don't have much options there. You need to come kill some Blight Lords, maybe get those engage points like you said. So we'll see how it goes. And like we were talking about, we'll talk about some of the synergies in the army. If you want to talk about kind of how your guys get their buffs from your demon characters, because you've got a lot of interesting kind of exploding 6s going on. And
yeah, absolutely. So this Lord of Skulls list sort of became optimized, I think, at the very end of 8th, using the Faith and Fury Demon Smith Warlord traits for Iron Warriors, stacked with a Crimson Crown Demon Relic. What that does is a 6 to hit for any Khorne Demon within 6 inches of the Demon Smith is an extra hit. A 6+ to wound is an extra attack, and those can stack. So if you're rerolling everything, which you can get from Demon Forged, which is a great strat for 1 CP, you can put that onto one of these Lord of Skulls. You're rerolling everything, fishing for 6s to hit and wound, and then you're rerolling when you do your extra attacks. You're fishing for 6s to hit again. You can end up putting a lot of shots out. However, it's countered pretty well by the -1 damage on this Death Guard. So it'd be interesting to see how this list, this Lord of Skulls list, which is great into Marines, how does it survive now in a new potential Death Guard meta?
Yeah, and you were kind of talking about kind of trying to gauge whether or not it's a gatekeeper list or if it kind of has as much play as it maybe did for that brief period in 8th, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is basically the list that was built to optimize synergies and be a powerful Death Star. The Disco also gives a +1 to hit. So it's still interesting now. We were talking about in combat, these Lord of Skulls can have up to 9 attacks when they're on their lowest profile with flat 6 damage. And hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s into Mortarion. So turning off rerolls isn't that effective. -1 damage isn't that effective. So I still potentially get some damage 5.
Yeah, flat 5. Oof, it's gonna hurt. And so I can turn off your reroll 1s, and I can turn off Demon Forged essentially, but you still are hitting on a good profile there.
Their ballistic skill, weapon skill doesn't degrade, so it's at 3s always, and then +1 with a Disco in an aura. So these 3 characters, these 3 support characters are all providing auras, often can get them onto all 3 of the Lord of Skulls if I do positioning correctly, but it makes me play as a castle. And castles generally aren't that great in 9th. So that's where it'll be interesting to see how I can still get some points when I'm not really built to play the mission.
Absolutely. You make a good point about castles in 9th. I think that's a pretty accurate summation of where castles are at the moment. But at least your castle is like, it's a Death Star, so it is moving forward to like take over. But it doesn't have the kind of board control spread out. And like you were saying on the debate between Assassinate and Engage, I'm sure if you had some more tools, Engage would be a no-brainer, but the army isn't really built with those. It's not really built with the tools for scramblers so well. So it's kind of stuck doing what you were saying.
It's kind of stuck playing in an 8th edition, trying to destroy the opponent, which, it still can potentially do that if the rolls spike. There's also the option for swapping out of power for warp time on the Master Possession. So I still have some tricks like that to move these guys 10 and then 10 again and then a charge. So they could move up pretty quickly if you're not expecting them to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, why don't we roll, see who's going first and get this game started?
Absolutely. All right. Put the dice in.
All right.
It's
big 6.
A 6.
3. All right, sir.
Well,
you're going first.
Thanks to the FAQ, I have no choice in the matter.
You have no choice, and it's interesting because we were talking about, even though your shooting is not high damage, the high volume can actually kind of swing some of the swing enough damage through my -1 damage. Like even though you're damage D3 or damage 2. It's just like such high volume and pretty efficient shooting as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm taking a look right now at how you've deployed. Those Blight Lords are very defensive. I was taking a look at this one. He cannot move 8 inches and get an angle. This one still blocks him. I think my only shot for shooting Blight Lords would be if this one here came up and touched this piece of terrain, and then he has an angle, I think, like that.
Yeah, you could probably nick this guy.
So I think that the reason I want to target Blight Lords is to make you play more conservatively with them in the future, start to whittle down a while we stand.
Yeah, that sounds smart.
There's an alternative argument to try just to damage Morty. I'm not getting any shots on the Plague Burst Crawlers. They're too defensively parked right now.
Right. Now, I can punish you all game without ever coming in front of line of sight.
With those
with the Plague Burst Crawlers.
With those mortars, right?
No, because you are Titanic, so I can shoot.
You are absolutely right. Your entropy cannons currently do have line of sight onto my models, and I will not ever be able to get shots onto them until I come up enough.
Which is pretty crazy.
Which is pretty crazy. Which is a good way that GW has dampened the power of Titanic. Yeah. Which generally I got into this type of build only after having some frustrations playing against Knights in a lot of 8th. So I definitely know that Titans can be overpowered and bad for the game occasionally, but I think this is going to be interesting. I do have line of sight into Morty for that same reason.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't hide Morty. It really did not matter where I put him. His guns had 48-inch range. There was nowhere to hide him, even if I put him in the back right corner, back left corner. So I said, why not put him on the line? He has enough difficult terrain to get to that I don't know if he would be able to get to me. I mean, perhaps with a warp time, but he would have to eat several difficult terrain pieces there.
Yeah, so it gives me an advantage. It does say that, you know what, I can still get shots off with every one of my units every turn. So I'm not hampered too much by terrain, which otherwise I would be.
Because at a minimum, he can always get shots on Mortarion to do something. And Mortarion has no mechanism to heal, although he has a ton of other mechanisms, which we all know about.
Yes, he'll be turning off rerolls. He'll be dampening the movement. Actually, could you go through all the traits that Mortarion has for this game?
Sure thing. So he has he gets 3 Warlord traits. One of them is the 5-up Disgustingly Resilient, previously called Disgustingly Resilient. He has a 3-inch aura that says units within 3 cannot be affected by auras. And he has the -1 built in from Disgusting. He has he gets to pick one, which in this game we've chosen the turn off all rerolls, which is not called the droning. That's what the other one has.
Gloaming?
Yes, right. Gloaming Blight? Blue? Blight?
Something gloaming.
Gloaming Blight. I think. Gloaming bloat. There's all these bloats and blights. Yeah, so he's very resilient, of course, but against flat 6 in combat, that would be unfortunate. We had an interesting game last week on the stream with the Knights versus Necrons, and the same kind of thing came up we were just talking about, where he had the Silent King, which was 16 wounds, and I had a Knight, which was 18 plus. So his Silent King could hide behind Obscuring and just blast me continually, which is kind of the same thing that's happening now with the Plague Burst Crawlers. And I gotta say, I'm glad to be on the other side of it right now, because
yeah, it can be pretty abusive otherwise.
Getting shot and not being able to shoot back is pretty frustrating.
Definitely. So I'm going to pull these Nurglings out. They just want to go out there and touch that forest. They're probably not long for this world, but I do think having some engage points early is worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely. Get them while you definitely can.
So I think I want to have... I'm going to see if I can pull off the distances here to have one of them tow an objective too, in case I want to have... Yeah, I think that would fail to get engaged though, so I actually do need to go fully out.
True.
So let me do that. They'll just pop out that way.
You're going to eat the -2 from the difficult?
Yeah, let me roll the advance then, because
yeah,
I might not be able to make it out there.
Should be fine.
Yeah, we have some new terrain
That's
on the board.
8 inches, and they were just behind that wall.
Yeah, I'll
so
talk
that's
about that.
6. I think they should be fine there.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good. So we'll talk about the terrain today. We've got a lot of obscuring runes as usual. This is the GW stuff. I kind of like it, honestly. I've had a lot of different runes over the years, and it works. It doesn't have the base that a lot of the other terrain pieces have, but it's pretty, aesthetically very pleasing. We've got our crate stacks in the corners, blue crates, grayish beige crates, and we've got today, new on the channel is the forest in the middle, which are WTC terrain. So I've got the WTC layout from the WTC themselves, the Wayland Yutani, I believe is the name of the company. I'm not sponsored by them, so I don't have to tell you anything nice about them. And I'm actually not going to tell you that much nice about them. I think the forests are, the thing that's nice about them is their regulation size. But aside from that, it is like kind of styrofoamy cardboard material. So aesthetically not the most pleasing, but very functional. And I think that's what the WC does well, is create functional terrain pieces. Maybe I'll show you guys the runes as well later. But they have some containers and some vents that are essentially craters. It's interesting stuff. And I think for an industrial forest, it actually kind of does serve the industrial look kind of well. So interestingly, the Disco Lord is over 10 wounds, right? So he can't be hidden by character protection.
Yep.
Which is why you've parked him so far back. He has a fast move, though, so he can get back into the game pretty quick.
Exactly. I needed to figure out where things were going to be, and he can move. I'm trying to figure out right now if I want to advance him where he needs to be. So if I move 6 inches out of here, I get the back of the base cleared there.
Yep.
And then that's the back of the base. Could then get itself here. I think I might be able to get into range. So let me just check that out. I'll just bring him this way to the side.
Oh, this is +1 for shooting too?
Exactly. It also does
nice.
for shooting. So that would be 4. I then need to move 2 more inches up this way. So make sure I do this correctly. 2 inches like that. I'm just trying to figure out if, so that's 4, 2, so 6 more. Yes, I can get him parked back here, giving that aura to all of the fellas.
Yeah, seems good.
And also not being on difficult terrain with him.
Yeah.
So, and let's see, the forest will sort of help him out. Yeah, he is a bit of a weak spot in the list, but at the same time, if he's 6 inches away from the master possession, he also gets that 4-up invulnerable.
Yes, he does.
So we'll have 4-up invulnerable on all 5 of these CSM units because the master possession gets the demon keyword with Insidium.
Yeah, that's pretty tasty.
So this will be movement. We've gone up. We've raised some banners on 2 different spots here.
Cool.
The Nurglings have gone up. I've towed the objective with that one out there.
Gotcha, that makes sense.
And I've kept the castle together. And I have shots onto only Mortarion with 2 of these Lord of Skulls. The other one does have shots onto the Blight Lords.
Yes.
So I likely will pop rerolls.
Yeah, that can make sense.
Onto that one.
We have a question in chat, which is, since the runes aren't based, are you guys switching the area terrain category with obstacle? No, we are not. We are running them pretty much as essentially, if you are touching the wall, you are exposed. There are several different ways that we play it. You could come up with an imaginary base. You could draw a line across the pieces. The way we've been playing this terrain is just, you basically can tuck in as far as you want, and you're still obscured until you touch the wall to be shot. I'm fine with that. I think the WTC plays essentially that there's 1 inch of a line, like a kind of circumference, that we also could run sometimes, depending if we start to not like this format, but we are absolutely running them still as area terrain. Thanks for the question. So you've got your movement phase done. I believe your psychic phase is coming out.
Absolutely. Here we go. So we only have 1 psyker looking to cast a 4-up invuln. Goes off on an 8.
You are within deny range.
I sure am.
Cool. Mortarion has 2 denies, I believe. And you have 2 spells?
Yep.
Cool. So we'll try to deny you. No, sir. You may have that.
All right. That is our 4-up invuln from Cursed Earth.
And I would need a 9 to deny that. So
Mortarion can deny 3 psychic powers.
3 psychic powers. Cool.
Amazing.
He casts 2, denies 3. Good to know. I would need a 9. I don't want you to have that, but I don't think that I am gonna even get that with a reroll. But I will start my turn your turn by rolling for my Tallyman, which rolls double ones. So.
Which doesn't mean anything, fortunately. No perils in the Tallyman.
Cool. No, not
So that's Cursed Earth. I'll go for Infernal Power now.
Sure.
That fails in
On
a
a
bad
peril.
way on a perils. So that is going to be a CP reroll, dropping me back down to 3.
Cool.
Because I don't want to take any wounds on this guy.
That makes sense. I know you have some bad
That's
experiences.
a 5 off the board. Oh yeah, LVO perils into perils. So that is a 7.
All right. Well, I will try to deny you. 6. And what is this one?
This is reroll 1s to hit and wound.
Reroll 1s to hit and wound. So you rolled a 7, right?
Yes.
So
If you were to deny this, I only have one really good target for my shooting, the Blight Lords from one of them. I would use a strat to reroll all hits and wounds.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not as great value, but it's still useful for shutting down some stuff into Mortarion.
Yeah. You've 12 shots with one profile, and then
D6 with the
D6.
belly gun.
Gotcha. So average of 14-ish, 15 shots. Sorry, 15 or 16 shots.
Yeah.
And per dude, I don't know if the reroll 1s is worth a CP for me, but I start on 7 or 8. Start on 7, right?
No, you start on 8 CP.
Start on 8. Feels too early to be blowing them, but I do get them back. I would need an 8. It's like a 50-50. I don't believe it's worth it, so I'll let you have that one.
All right. And also, that was a mistake on my part. I probably could have just parked him right outside of 24. It's probably good to just sort of measure that out before moving your psychers.
Absolutely.
I found a nice little pocket for him, and I thought, oh, this is a great little spot that he can jump into.
Yeah.
But didn't consider the denies there. So
Nope.
that was a bit of a sloppy move on my part, but at least the dice were on my side.
Yeah. And that's
In the
something
end.
also we'll talk about in some tactical tips and tricks series. One of those is that in the movement phase is actually where almost every other phase kind of is pre-planned, right? Because in your movement phase, you know what your charge distance is, you know what your shooting ranges are, you know what your opponent's counter shooting ranges are in the next turn once they move forward. These are all things you want to consider in your movement phase, and one of those things is the deny range. So that, it obviously happens, no one plays perfectly all the time, but one of those things is like you move, and even while you're moving, you want to measure 24 inches from your casters, just to be aware of that. But it paid off for you. Mortarion was not feeling spicy this morning.
I lucked out. Well, now this is the test of
How spicy he really is.
How powerful this list can still be into the unkillable Mortarion.
Yeah.
Or the hard to kill Mortarion. So we'll put our first shooting into him from this Lord of Skulls, who has no other options.
Cool. And I have no defensive stuff I can do, so.
And did you raise banners at all?
I have raised banners on both my home objectives.
Yep.
This one here and this one here. And I've towed all 3 objectives with different units.
Yeah,
and I moved some Nurglings out just for those engage points. Those Nurglings are not long for this world.
Yeah. Unlikely that I'll be able to.
Playing retrieval, right? So you only have one home objective?
Yes. Well, I've raised banners on 2 of them that I'm pretty defensively holding right now. I have OBSEC on 2 of them right
Yeah.
here.
So unlikely that.
I like where your head's at.
Yeah, they're all his home objectives.
This is my
Yeah,
home.
that's right. That's my mind is I have to hold 2 for 10, so for me there's 2 that need to be my home.
Yep, absolutely.
That where I have OBSEC in a hidden way. So I'm going to go ahead and start shooting into Mortarion with one of these guys.
Yeah, carry on.
In range of all the buffs. So it'll be
Yeah.
2s rerolling 1s, and then 4s rerolling 1s.
Yep.
Going into Morty.
Cool.
So I'll reroll this here 1. And that's only 1/6, so 1 extra hit, thanks to
All right.
Demon Smith. So there we go, 13 hits out of 12 shots. And now it's 4s rerolling 1s, and 6s will be very nice.
Cool. 6s is you make
Thank
an extra attack.
you for that reroll 1s. 6s is make an extra attack.
Wow, so that's in shooting as well.
That's in shooting as well.
Wow.
It's specified a 6+ to wound from any attack made by a Khorne Demon.
That is spicy.
So although I've only rolled 25% conversion here, I
Yeah.
rolled so many 1s that I get to
You get a second chance.
second chance. Not really.
Not too hot though.
So that's 5 saves on Morty with 2 extra attacks. I'll roll extra attacks right now.
Sure.
Reroll 1s.
Yep.
And then 4s rerolling 1s.
Oh, got the 1.
No, so 6 saves.
And are they all
Didn't
the
spike
same,
so well.
The same damage?
They are 2 damage, so they're just 1 against you.
And they're all 2 damage?
They're all 2 damage there. I still have the belly gun to shoot too.
Okay, cool. Oh, right. That was the extra one. I thought you were doing other extras. All right, so 4-ups. I take 3, I believe.
Cool.
And
they're 1 damage.
Because it is a minus, right?
Yep.
I make 2, so I've taken 1 damage.
1 damage from a gun that could pick up half a knight.
Sweet.
So that is showing off his durability. Now the D6 shots from the belly for 5.
Big 5.
I'll take that. 2s rerolling 1s. Rerolling that 1 there. And then 5s rerolling 1s because it's only strength 7. Rerolling that 1. So 1 save, but it is an extra attack.
Cool.
And this is D3 damage.
1 save. We're good.
Extra attack. Hits. Extra attack. Fails to wound.
All right.
So I'm going to move on after that 1 damage to the guy into the Blight Lords.
Sure.
And so hopefully I'll do more damage there.
Yeah.
That crater is not -1 to hit, is that right?
No.
So I'll just be hitting on 2 still. And getting my shots in.
Yeah, because you can draw to some dudes that are not.
I think I can draw to one line is not over the forest, exactly. And I am touching the terrain piece here, so that was my intent. I said, hey, I'm going to touch this terrain piece and then see through it into the Blight Lords.
And interestingly, because these rules are not written so great, he can draw, the line that he draws of line of sight does, because I'm obscured here, he can see a model that does go through the forest, but because of the wording, he can also draw it to another model that's not within the forest. So even though he can't see the model that he's not shooting the dents through, technically rules is written, he does not take the minus. He's targeting the squad.
Yeah, and that wasn't something I really played around too much. I do have some defenses against that where I could just reroll all my hits with Demon Forge anyway. That's the reason I've taken the Disco in the list too, is for that +1 to counter a -1.
Oh yeah.
So I think I'm not going to use any strats here. I think I'm going to save my Demon Forge for extra shots in the Morty, considering I didn't do enough plink damage.
Fair enough.
So I'll just go ahead and roll this one flat. So 2s rerolling 1s followed by 3s rerolling 1s.
Cool.
So here's the 1 damage gun. Actually, I think it's smart to start with a D3 damage gun.
Yeah.
Just I don't want to have that go against a 1 wound Terminator at the end. So here's the D3 damage gun for 6 shots.
Cool.
I don't know if you wanted to play with dice out of here, not having to be rerolled.
It doesn't matter too much, but why don't you keep that one, and if it's in the future, just get it in there, I guess.
I'll just try harder.
Yeah.
That's what we got. So here we go. Rerolling. That one is cocked. Rerolling the 1. No 6s here.
Cool.
But it is 6 hits.
So he has really efficient shooting.
And then 3s rerolling 1s.
But we've seen that into Morty it wasn't too scary.
So that is going to be 2 extra attacks here for those 6s to hit, to wound.
This one's hurting.
And those go through, and then to wound. So that is 7 saves from 6 shots.
Yes, that one hurts.
And these are D3 damage. So they're
what's the
reducing
minus on this?
-4.
-4?
-4 on the I-Core cannon.
Oh, okay. So we dropped 3.
Okay. So
could be worse.
A little bit above average. So
and
the damage.
Yep. So 3.
First one, just for 1. Next one, just for 1. And the last one gets them.
Gotcha.
So we got 1 Terminator.
Yes, you did.
Okay, but that is just the minor gun.
Yeah.
Now we have the major gun. This is going to be
2s
followed by 3s.
Yep.
And there's always a chance I spike on 6s. Let's see what we can do.
Absolutely.
Rerolling these 1s. No, only below average 6s. Oh, no, there's 2. So we do have 14 hits from 12 shots.
Okay. That's always nice.
And now 3s.
You're shooting like AdMech out
3s rerolling 1s. Ooh, give me the 6s.
Yeah, no 2s.
No 2s, though. That is a good roll. And now rerolling those 1s. That one is out. This one is a fail. So that one's out of there. But it is 2 more 6s. So that is going to be 2 more dice to roll.
Just rolling dice nonstop.
And that's an extra hit. And then 3s. There's a 2. Rerolling the 1. So here he saves. It's going to be a lot of saves. Looking at a good amount. I think that's 16 saves from 12 shots. These are 1 damage, though.
Crazy.
And AP2.
AP2, so you're looking at 4s.
All right. Yeah, and I am not in cover because I didn't want to touch the rune to get...
Otherwise, all 3 would be shooting those Blight Lords if you were touching some ruins.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So I was wondering if there's some janky rules as written container action here. If I'm within 3 of the container, I can't draw line of sight to my base.
Without going over a container? I think it has to go over the container for that rule to be triggered.
Probably.
and I think that my lines can be drawn without going over the
of
container.
course, yeah.
So I think I'm safe from any cover save.
I would imagine so. Doesn't matter. We do okay.
Yep.
We lose.
Is that 3?
This was not one of them. 1, 2, and
there's a 3 right there as well.
oh yeah, cool. So 3 drop. Wow, that hurt. So we will be hiding these dudes the rest of the game.
There's 1 left. There was 1 that died from the belly gun, and so there's 1 left. But if he hides them for the rest of the game, then I cannot get the while we stand points off of you.
Yeah, we're really gonna have to go hide that guy.
Will he have to make a leadership test? Will you spend the points to make him pass?
Possibly, honestly.
So I'm burning a CP here for Demon Forge into Morty.
Yep.
Just to try to do some plink damage.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what order I go in here, so I'm going to start with the 2 damage one, the Hades Gatling.
Yep.
So this is
2s
rerolling 1s, and I can actually reroll the 1s and the 2s. Let me think about the math on that. I think that because 6s explode, but 1s also miss, it's equal chances.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I'm just gonna keep the 2s.
Yeah.
I'm always a big fan of fishing.
That's out.
I'm never a big fan of fishing.
So that's 11. Oh no, it's 1 extra hit. So it is 12. 12 out of 12.
Cool.
Yeah, I think in this case, I'd rather just get more close to the average than try to spike up or anything. And then 4s, but with a reroll.
Cool. That's looking solid.
Not bad. Lots of 5s. Not too many 6s. 6s will be great. Okay, well there's 2 more attacks. I'll just roll this quick.
A lot of conversions, though.
Rerolling that 1 into a 1, but it's 2 hits because of the 6.
Yep.
That was already good. And then rerolling these. So those are your saves.
All right. All right.
AP2, 2 damage becomes 1 damage.
So 4s.
Got it.
Oh, I shouldn't have rolled his dice. I take 5 wounds. And I will roll those. I think I grabbed 1.
Yeah.
I will roll those to ignore. I take 3.
Taking 3. And now D6 with a stomach gun. I've been lucky on these rolls so far. It's 4. That's absolutely great. Reroll on the 1. Into 1, but there's a 6. That's extra hits. 5s with a full rerolls thanks to Demon Forge. Into just 1 more save.
Oh, wow.
For D3 damage.
Dang, I was about to say they were doing great.
So D3, is it worth the CP? It's just such low damage that it just doesn't feel worth the CP, so carry on.
It is for 2.
But it is for 2. And we take them both, so maybe it would have been worth it. So it's taking 6, which means I'm down to 12.
Taking 6. Now we have 1 more shot from the auto cannon on the disco.
Sure.
Did not advance. Reroll the 1s thanks to his buddy. And then wounds on 5s. Reroll on 1s. 1 wound. AP 1.
Cool. We are
He's
good.
fine. And that's going to wrap up the turn.
All right.
Mortarion
So
stays unbracketed.
Yep. So he's got an engage for 2. He's raised 2 banners that'll score next turn. And he's still standing. And while he's standing, he's fighting.
Yep.
So I would need a leadership on my Blight Lord. Tell me the sergeant is leadership 9. Because I've lost 4, which means I would fail on a 5. But he might be leadership 8, which would make me sad. So let's check that real quick. You bring that up for me, if possible. The Blight Lord. I guess I have the book. I should just.
Or the champion, or
The champion, yeah. What's he looking at?
I can just pull it up. Blight Lords, leadership 9. Cool. So on a 5, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's on a 6.
On a 6. Do you want to take a 1 in 6 chance to lose 5 points?
1 in 6 chance to lose 5 points? It's just like, so this is one of those risk calculations, right? Where the odds of it happening are 1 in 6, but how bad it is if it does happen is massive.
So bad. It changes your entire game plan.
Yeah.
But, and your Tally Man can get you those CP back.
Right.
If you can hide him.
Yeah. So I think losing him is just not an option. It's unfortunate because it is my only auto pass for the game, which if I needed another auto pass later on Cultist or something. But I'll spend the 2 CP and I'll roll it just to see what it would have been. All right.
Oh, I thought I saw a 6 for a second.
I know, it did bounce that 6.
It did bounce.
All right, so I
I
spend
think
the 2
that's a
CP.
smart call because you have so much more command points than I have.
And
Just
I'll
for the
see if
record.
I get one, which I do.
Nice. And I'm at 2 command points, so all I can really do is interrupt.
Yeah. So I'll go up.
Yeah, you start the turn back at 8 CP, having spent one, got one for the turn, and got one back with your time in.
Yeah.
So 5 points in the bag, everyone.
Yeah. So I'm gonna need to figure out what the safest spot to put this guy is.
That's right. Running up is tricky because I could just touch the terrain in front of the Lord of Skulls to see through that ruin.
Yeah, that's really not an option. Getting behind is kind of the best play. 5. I would need like at least a 3. 8, 9, 10. Looking like a 5. It'd be unfortunate to have to blow my warp time there, but I absolutely will.
To hide it while we stand, we fight.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I'll advance that dude. Might want to just move my poxwalkers out first so that I'm not cheating you. Let's see, what's my game plan? So I'm going to raise banners here with the cultists most likely, even with the Terminator since they're not doing anything else. They're too valuable to send out to get shot to pieces. We saw how that went. Failed to tuck them properly. That's on me. Probably could have tucked that last guy a little tighter, but I cut the angle a little bit tight this way, and then I got this way. So, game plan. I need to get Titan Hunter. If I get Titan Hunter, keep this Blight Lord alive, I'm in a good spot. Yeah. So I think one thing I could do is if I break out on my drone, use the drone to pick up the Nurglings, and then kind of consolidate into this area here, where I'll have a 7-inch aura of slowing you down. Should be able to slow down the whole army, which isn't that powerful, but given that he's in difficult with, I think, every one of the Lord of Skulls, or at least 2 out of 3, or I guess maybe the back one got out, I'd cut your movement down to 5, and then you'd lose 2.
Right,
so
yeah.
moving
2 of
3.
them are in difficult terrain. One of them just barely squeezed out of it.
Yeah. So moving 3 inches
Whew.
would help slow his game plan down. And picking up the Nurglings with my damage 2 weaponry, where he doesn't get disgusting, is definitely a way to shut down that unit and also get some value out of the 2 CP breakout. So I think I will 2 CP breakout on the drone and go with that plan.
So that's a flash outbreak being used for him to get a larger contagion aura. Is that right?
That's correct. And to take the Warlord's contagion aura as well.
You got it.
And we'll park him in here in case he fails his 1-inch charge.
That forest.
Yeah. So Morty needs to slam into one of these and try to kill it, quite frankly. There's no other play with that. Morty is going to die because I can't hide him from shooting, and we saw he took 6 wounds, which means he would die in at least 2 turns, at most 2 turns.
Yeah. And the Lord of Skulls do have this weird rule. I don't think I brought it up yet. They can shoot their guns into combat. This is a rule that was on their data sheet in 8th. Cool. So they can shoot into combat and also shoot their guns out of combat. So they're unlike any other vehicle in the game. You can be engaged with them. He could throw something to engage me, and yet I could still target Mortarion.
Interesting. So there's no way to tie them up effectively.
There's no way to keep them from shooting Mortarion. Because
I'll go like that.
Does that include the Ichor Cannon with Blast?
So that does, on their data sheet, this is, of course, before Blast came out, they have...
Titanic Demon Engine is the rule.
There's this rule, exactly, that allows them to fire their weapons into combat. I think it's unclear for... If you're going to a tournament, you want to get a TO to let you know how they think that should interact with Blast. So I think it's the way I had it ruled at a recent event was that that rule would take precedence over Blast. They can still shoot the Blast weapon. But it depends on the tournament you go to.
So he brought up an interesting point. If I slow him down to 3 inches, he actually won't be able to touch this rune, which is pretty big. He can advance and shoot. Coming 3 inches this way won't get him any line of sight. He would have to charge, which he will use the movement from charging to touch that, but that won't be on this turn.
Exactly.
Which does make me feel like the Terminator is a bit safer, but given that I can be 24 inches, well, actually, never mind. I don't even have to be 24 inches away from him because I have the Word Bearer strat which will let me cast the spell undeniably if I fail it. But I will also make sure I am 24 inches away.
Absolutely.
In case I pass it.
Trying to fail here.
So 24 from the master possession, I'm already outside of it. So I know that I can be somewhere where I am currently. And that would be warp time on this guy to make sure he gets to safety. And let's see, if he comes 5 plus an advance of possibly 6, with the extra 5, he'll be safe. But it will be here and it won't be behind the rune, unfortunately.
My main defense against that is that I do have one Lord of Skulls out on the side angle here, who's probably going to try to move out his full 10 to get some shots if needed.
Yep.
But he can probably move to prevent that.
And basically, if I roll a poor advance roll, I might have trouble. But if I roll something decent, I can get, like with a 12, I'd be able to get pretty tucked. But if you were to come up, for sure, I'd be in trouble at a certain point. Then I'll have to warp time behind the rune.
Yep.
He'll just be running around like this is the fastest Terminator ever. He's like double time.
My word
Benny
bears.
Hill theme goes, and he's just running through the ruins.
He's like Forrest Gump, advancing, double moving every turn. That's how Forrest Gump ran with warp time. So I think I got to move these Poxwalkers out. So now that he hasn't taken Assassinate, it's really interesting because I've lost a lot of the protection of my characters, but there's almost no reason to protect them outside of the value that they add for my army.
Yeah.
So I don't think my game plan is going to really consist around making them survive. The Playcaster will throw some mortals out. I'll do my warp time play. I could do a Death Hex, but by giving it to Mortarion. Basically, the Flamethrower is not going to do much against you. It's not bad, but it's not essential. The Mortal Wounds from the Sorcerer are okay, not great. And the Tallyman just gives me CP, so the Tallyman needs to stay alive, but everyone else is not really that important to the game plan. Moral of the story is, we're going to... Oh, that's the wrong guy. We're going to tuck these Terminators up and go raise a banner with them, most likely.
Makes sense.
Make sure I'm hidden. What are we checking over there?
I'm checking if my World Eater's cultists are within Mortarion deny range, and they are.
And they are.
So,
I believe that.
So that is a 4-up invuln coming onto.
And can you use that
deny.
after you?
After I see your roll or after I do a deny, I believe I could try to deny first, and if that fails, I then can use the World Eater stratagem.
Gotcha. So, would you pull this over the top of your model roughly? So if 24 is to there, basically.
Yeah.
And then that would make my charge within 7, so about a 6.
Yeah, about a 6.
So is it worth not letting you have the auto deny on a 4-up? I don't think I'll fail a 6-inch. His famous last word.
Famous last words?
So if you're cool with me pulling this dude back.
I think that makes sense. Because, yeah, and that's something that if I had forced my cultist up into the corner even more, it could have pushed you back a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I just left them where they were standing. I think you have a 6-inch charge from there.
Yeah, sounds good. So...
Could have gotten 1 more inch off of you, but it wouldn't make much of a difference.
Yeah.
We'll see if you roll a 6, not a 7.
Right. So this dude is my... Yeah, so if we raise a banner here with this dude, I can cast spells after I raise a banner, right? I just can't make attacks.
I don't think you can cast.
Maybe you can cast.
Yeah.
So I'll use the Tallyman to raise the home banner then.
That makes sense.
So Tallyman is going to end up shuffling. Blightspawn's going to shuffle up. I think I'm a little bit all over the place here. But we'll just come to there. If he has to advance to do it, that'd be fine. 3. So he'll be within 3 of the tank so that he can't be shot and just picked up automatically. The Sorcerer is going to shuffle to be after this dude moves like 8-ish, something like there. If I roll hot, basically just in a position that if I roll 5, I'm within 8.
For within 8.
So once he moves 5, then I'll be within 3 for warp time.
Makes sense.
Having a 3-inch warp time is not the most exciting.
Yeah. At least it's undeniable.
Yeah, 1,000 Suns would like a word of their.
Behold my 3-inch undeniable warp time.
Yeah. So 18 inches, if I cut an angle over here, I could maybe like get a smite there, but even then, only by not having line of sight to the Nurglings. That's the only way that I would get a smite from the Playcaster. He's going 3 because he's in a crater, and he would have to roll like pretty well to get a smite off that way. So we're probably going to just smite the Nurglings to ensure that it gets picked up by the by the Blight.
Makes
Drone.
sense. I also heal a wound at the start of every turn, so
There
if
you
you're
go.
not putting your damage into one of my units,
That makes sense.
it's
Even
not
more
really
so.
doing much.
So we'll come to here. Also tow that 3 inches. And the Blight spawn, I guess we'll also shoot that Nurgling squad, since I don't want to pick the whole squad up because I do want to charge.
Yes.
But how many wounds do I do on average? If I roll about 4 hits, then I would roll about 4 wounds. I could not re-roll the ones with Plague Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And
There are 2 damage, which is really nice and efficient.
It is. But thankfully it's not, yeah. It's efficient in terms of I don't actually wipe the squad probably, which is what I'm going for.
Yeah, yep.
So I'll,
And I think it makes sense for you to try to take out those Nurglings. They are really valuable for me because they are a relatively durable engage
absolutely.
point for me.
Once
Those
I take that
Nurglings.
off, if I take that off and slow the army down, I don't think you'll get engaged on turn 2.
Yep, absolutely.
Those Nurglings definitely picked the wrong side. They got summoned and they're just like looking down at Mortarion and his bigger, bossier Nurglings.
So I'll be within 3 of the Death Shroud so that the Foul Blight spawn can't be targeted.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cut my angles tight so that nothing cheeky happens, I don't think. You come out, if you'd hit this, you'd be down to 8, so functionally 8, which is there. So yeah, I don't think you can see them.
I think they're in a safe spot.
Yeah, you could see the Blight Lord, but he's not going to be there.
He's not going to be there.
So if we raise a banner here with the Tallyman, we raise a banner here with the Death Shroud, raise a banner here with Blight Lords probably. The question is, what are these Poxwalkers doing? So if I'm slowing his army down, I don't think he has a way to get onto this objective. Currently, this thing can't shoot me. It can only shoot this way. It can't shoot characters. It's going to have Mortarion and the Blight Lords to deal with, the Blight Drone to deal with. So there's no reason to push out any other targets. They're just going to get picked up. Once he cuts this angle of 8 inches, though, he will be able to see the Poxwalkers at that angle. And so that's when it makes sense to kind of hide the Poxwalkers more. So I'm going to roll an advance for them. I don't think I can get them to safety coming this way. I would have to roll a really big advance. So instead, I'm going to kind of shuffle this way and try to cut an angle and hope that if he comes 3 to here, that there's some safe ground. See how it goes.
There is still, I could still warp time.
True. You very much could.
So I still have 1 escape route to get these angles.
And if you come, well, you're just out of 6 of the wall.
So then even with a warp time, I'm not in a good spot.
Let's roll a 3. So they're going 7, I believe. They lost movement.
Mm-hmm. Although it does look like I can move off of this forest with my first 3, and then I can maybe move up forwards 5, but there's this crater here, which I would then probably hit.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look good for me getting to that wall.
The double, a lot of difficult on this layout, which I know is not great for the Lord of Skulls. Usually it's not terrible, though.
It's not terrible, and also, we were talking about this before, this might actually be a little bit less terrain
than you might see at like a
WTC map.
Yeah.
So already the Lord of Skulls has a tough run on once there are more than, let's say, 8 ruins or so. It gets harder for them to play the mission.
Cool. So my intention is to be out of both, and I believe I am.
Yep.
If it's a minor thing.
No, yeah, listen,
Well,
I think you're safe there.
Cool. So this dude will move in advance. The Blight Lord, let's get him out of there. He's going 8. So with an 8, he will be able to clear this rune, I believe, because 8.
Yeah.
And then 5.
And oh yeah, he's right. There's no more advancing on the warp time.
Can't advance on the warp time, which
But I
is a
think
shame.
if he can get himself cleared there.
I maintain that the Dark Angels heralded that nerves.
So
all
from the
good
back of his
nerves.
base, the back of his base will be within there. So I will
Right.
have to pivot this tank out just a
It
bit.
will force you to bring that tank out a little bit, which might get one Lord of Skulls to target him in a later turn if I go up the side.
Yeah.
But that would just be 1 unit shooting him. I know I cannot pick up a Plague Burst without probably all 3.
Yeah.
So it's not.
If I go from the back of the
too tempting.
base, I'm just going to do it now. And I obviously will make sure that I cast it properly.
Absolutely.
Just want to make sure that
And
I
that way
have...
you made sure you have the room to actually fit in there.
Exactly.
Okay, you want to talk a little bit about maybe target selection for your Plague Burst crawlers or your?
Yeah, so they both are going to go into the center one because, like he was saying, in the pregame, if I don't kill one, he'll just pull it back, and the one that I damage the most, he'll pull back. And Morty is set to go into this one. We'll have both of our shots going into that one. We need to try to kill this one on this turn. And that's why we'll now talk about the Death Hex play.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into the Psychic phase, I believe, unless I have anything cooking over here, which I don't think I'm going to do. I'm just going to raise a banner. There's no reason to come out. I can shoot my bolters and Blight launcher at this guy, because why not? Could shoot him at either guy, but I will pick the one.
Plink.
A couple plink shots, and that's all I got there. So, I mean, I guess I can shoot some Colt rapid fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you want to talk about that Death Hex play?
Yeah, so because I have a CSM detachment, I can use the Chaos Familiar stratagem, which will let me put a Dark Hereticus power onto any Heretic Astartes. And since Mortarion has the Heretic Astartes keyword, he can use that power, which is some old Chaos Space Marine jank. But still, I thought it was going to get fixed in the Death Guard Codex, and it did not get banned in any sort of way. So the Sorcerer will be Warp Timing. His other spell would be Smite, which I don't think I'll have range on anymore, given his positioning. Actually, I should be probably just in range, but no, I'm just out. That's fine. I think between the Blight Spawn and the other Smite, should be able to pick up those Nurglings. And so he's kind of, his second power is a bit wasted. So we'll put 1 CP to put Death Hex on Mortarion. That will remove the invuln of this Lord of Skulls, and hopefully make him much easier to kill.
Really softens him up if this goes off. This is a pretty big roll here.
And if I don't get it, I absolutely will be CPing this.
It makes sense.
So, Death Hex. Fails.
Ooh, big
okay.
fail.
CP time.
Looking for an 8.
We get an 8.
Okay.
So
and you're out of my 4-up deny. I probably could have, if I'd seen this coming, moved the cultists up. The cultists aren't that important. So them being 6 inches further up would have really helped here.
Yeah.
But here we go. Looking for a regular deny on the Master of Possession.
Oh.
No. And I do need my CP enough.
Right.
And a 9 is just too hard to try to get. That the center one is Death Hex. This might be the end of him. But he still has a 3-up save. And, you know, 4-up invuln, though, would have been very nice.
Yeah. So, the Blight Drone will have +1 turn from the outbreak, right? So he goes to 4-inch range. So if I wind up about here, 4 inches is not going to touch stuff. So I do want to Gift of Contagion him with my other caster, most likely.
Any other spells from Morty?
Right, so I am going to come to that first. So we will do, I guess he has the Gift, so I'll try the Gift on the drone, which goes off on a 7.
Cool.
And then the last one will be a Smite onto the Nurglings, which fails, and that's fine. So, again, we want to kill the Nurglings, but we don't want to overkill the Nurglings, because we need to get that charge in. Although failing to kill the Nurglings would get you some engage points, which would be unfortunate. So, we'll go to the next caster, which is our Death Hex, our Warp Time play.
Yep.
So, I don't care if I fail, I don't care if I pass it. I do pass it on a 6 when I roll a 7. So I'm now safely tucked behind that rune.
Absolutely.
My other spells, like we talked about, were useless. I think I had given him Prescience, actually, instead of Death Hex, but that's fine. We'll carry on. And because I think Death Hex was like tech into Death Hex.
Absolutely. Makes sense to do that.
But I don't know what I put on the thing. Can you check and see my list if I did put it in?
Yeah, I'll pull up your roster.
And I'll just go to the Blade Caster, who's going to smite the Nurglings, which goes off on a 10.
Okay.
For D3, which is 2.
Which is a nice number,
Yep,
because then you're
better than 1.
shooting him with 2 damage stuff. So I'll just put that onto the Nurgling closest here to make the charge harder.
And I'll do the other nonsense damage spell that he has. I guess he has Miasma. I'm sorry. Miasma.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Before I start throwing some...
Miasma onto Morty?
Mortarion, of course.
Makes sense.
Almost forgot that part of the plan. Huge part of the plan.
That's a big part of the plan.
Whew! All right, so I think that's it for the Psychic phase, unless I did put Prescience on him. Sorcerer.
Who would you Prescience?
I can actually Prescience the tanks.
Makes sense, because they're still Heretic Astartes.
They are. We're checking that list real quick.
So the way I was planning my turn was, I was hoping the 4-up invuln would keep my Lord of Skulls alive enough. Now I'm just counting on that one going down. Is sort of what I'm assuming, but if it does survive, it still can do a hell of a lot of work in Morty.
So I do have Prescience, and I will cast it. which fails on a 6. And I actually will spend the 1 CP to auto pass that.
Sounds good.
Per the Word Bearer's stratagem.
And take a mortal onto your sorcerer.
Oh, I do take a mortal. I forgot about that part. It's an important part.
He's being chipped away.
Down to 6 CP.
Oh, see? These big first turn spends. All right, so I will go into the shooting phase.
Yep.
I'll start with the Foul Blight spawn.
Yep.
1d6 into your Nurglings
Yes.
for a 3. And I'm pretty sure I spent the 10 CP to make me re-roll that if I wanted to, but in this case, I don't think I want to.
Yeah.
So on 2s, re-rolling 1s, and I'll take all 3 of those.
So 5s. I take 2 wounds.
Cool. So lose a base and another just
the
on
first
2.
one. Exactly.
Sounds good. Good job, Blight Spawn, just softening them up. Hopefully the drone can pick that up. We'll go to Plague Burst Crawler number 1.
Yes.
This will be the prescienced one. And we will do everything into there. So I often do like some sorts of like mortar plays if they don't have enough objective holders in the back. But first of all, there's no way I'm picking up 10 cultists. There's no way I'm picking up 10 demonettes. Definitely not the demonettes. Could hurt the cultists and force a morale test. But he's still going to hold the objective. Denying one of them also does nothing. It's a hold 2. It's a hold 1, hold 2 on a 3 objective mission in his home. So no real plays there. We're going to put everything into the big boy. So entropy cannons on 2s. 2 hits.
That prescience paid off.
Whew. All right.
Toughness 8.
Okay. 1 wound.
You got it.
And you're within 12, so I have Arch Contaminator on you. But do I have to be within 6 of my own guy? I might have to.
I think you might need to be next to your own guy.
I think I have to be next to my own guy.
I will. Well, it's minus a lot, I'm assuming.
It's -4.
So I will have no save thanks to Death Hex.
All
I have an option of doing right now is I have 2 defensive strats. 1 to reduce your AP, and 1 to give myself a 6 at Feel No Pain.
Right, and those are Iron Warrior strats.
Yes, but I don't think you're doing damage over multiple phases.
And Arch Contaminator is for Plague Company Core, so I don't think it gets the Plague Burst Crawler in.
Good to know.
But yeah, it is within 6 inches of your Warlord.
Gotcha, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
So this guy's been Death Hexed.
Yeah, so the question is, do I CP a wound roll, or do I wait to CP a hit roll over there? And because I hit on 3s, I think I wait to CP a hit roll. And if I potentially fail to wound with one of those 2 shots, then I would CP that wound roll then. So I think waiting makes more sense.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But yeah, so do you have any defensive buffs you'd like to do?
I have not enough CP to use them, so.
I think that's kind of a fair issue with the arm.
Yep.
You're super durable, super tough, but not that much CP to work with. So this is D3 plus 3 for 6.
So that is 6 damage down. He is down to 22. I have some markers.
It's a lot of wounds. So we'll do the mortar at him for 6 shots.
Okay.
Big 6. Okay, so on 2s. Full house. And strength 8, so on 4s.
On 4s.
Rerolling 1s. No, only 2 this time.
Damage. AP.
These are -3 damage 2. And I'm sorry, I will spend the CP to do a flat 3 on that.
Makes sense.
So I'm down 1 more CP. Should have declared that earlier.
So I would need -3. I would need 6s here. Otherwise, would have been 4s. So those would have been saves, but Death Hex has popped them down. That's going to be 6 more damage. Oh
yes,
my God.
sir. And now there'll be a mortal wound spillover all around it as well.
Okay.
So does the Master of Possession take a mortal wound? Yes, he does.
Okay,
Does
down to 4.
the Lord of Skulls next to me take a mortal wound? Yes, he does. Does the other mortal? Yes. Okay, so both of the skulls, they're going to heal for 1, though. We know that.
Yeah, so I'm not going to mark them, but I will mark the Master of Possession down to 4.
Yep, and then the Blood Throne, he takes a wound.
Takes a wound as well.
And the Disco Lord, I think, might be in.
Is it within 6? Because I'm within 6 for.
I think it's 3.
Okay. Might be parked outside of that.
I think you're outside 3.
Cool.
So everything took a mortal.
And so what triggered that for the folks watching at home?
So that was a 1 CP strat with the Plague Burst Crawler to turn it to damage 3, and also to do an explosion of mortals all around the target. And that
does not include the target itself.
Does not include the target.
Okay.
So each unit within, each other unit within 3. Yep, so no. And that's 1 CP called Disgusting Force. All right, so that Plague Burst is done. We've done It's 12 to this thing already?
You've done 12 with 1 Plague Burst.
That's not
Nice.
bad. And the Heavy Slugger as well. Sorry. Can't forget the Heavy Slugger. Very important there. Which is 3 shots or 4 shots? 4 shots at strength 5 minus 1. So again, on 2s, which is really the prescience, the cross demon, cross Nurgle chaos crossover is sweet. No wounds though.
Okay.
But just hitting on 2s was sweet. So over there, the next side, we'll run the same thing back. We'll do the entropy cannons first. So I will use the CP now.
There it is.
Does not pay off. That's unfortunate. Looking for a 4. We got the 4.
All right, no save here.
No save because -4. So, oof. Would have been nice to reroll the damage there, but we could not do it.
Still 4 damage.
4 damage doesn't hurt.
And then you got a mortar, I'm guessing, with the same
Yep,
target.
got a mortar and the slugger, so I'll do the slugger. 3 hits. 1 wound.
That's an strength 5.
Yeah.
Guessing. So
-1.
fail that. So.
Takes 1.
Okay, so it's got him down to 11.
And D6 for 3. 2 hits.
Yep.
4s, rerolling 1s. 2 wounds.
2 wounds from the mortar.
-3, so 6s, right?
Yes.
Make
I do
1,
make 1.
take 2.
All right, got himself down to 9.
Because you took 4
Because
and 3, right? So 7
Yes.
from that?
Yep.
Gotcha. All right, so now we'll shoot Mortarion's pistol.
Okay.
Because we're not out of things yet. So Mortarion's pistol is the lantern. I draw a line closest from this model's base to me, so I'm not going to be able to catch anything else, I don't believe. Unless no, because the closest line here would be here.
Mm-hmm.
Closest line here would be here. And I can't target the Blood Throne.
That's right.
I'm out of range anyway. So I'll just put it into the throne himself. Also, Morty Chapter Mastered himself, since there was no other targets.
Makes sense.
So he hits, and he fails to wound, but it's probably a plague weapon. It's actually not a plague weapon.
Not a plague
It
weapon.
is not a plague weapon.
It's a light weapon.
Very interesting. Would have been nice to get another flat 3 in there.
I think he is degraded enough, though, that I think your
pick him
plan
up?
has paid off so far.
Yeah, I hope so. So no shooting there. We're hiding there. We're hiding there. We'll do the plink shots from the Terminators.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 light launcher shots, which both hit, and looking for 5s. 1 wound, -2.
So a 5 up here? No.
Take 2.
Okay. Got
And-
himself down to 7.
We got some random bolters too. So 4, 8, 12. On 3s. Solid, and then on 6s, because you're
Yes.
T8. We roll 4 6s.
All right, AP.
No
I'm
AP.
assuming is nothing, so 3s. That's 3 so far, 1 up.
Solid
Table.
rolls.
That is going to be
Good.
4
It's all of them
saved.
Yeah, you
struck
make 'em
with
all.
the force of the gods.
Cool. No worries there. That was fishing for something.
Mm-hmm.
The cultists raise the banner, so they can't shoot. Cool. Alrighty. Yeah, sounds good. So we will go to the charge phase, and we will go Mortarion into your Lord of Skulls.
I'm considering an Overwatch. The reason is every 6 is an extra hit, and there are going to be around 15 shots going into you, rerolling 1s to hit and wound. Getting a few more wounds off of him. I don't think I'm going to survive this fight, so I'm not putting anything in defensively.
Yeah.
But getting a few more wounds off of you is going to help me guarantee to kill you the next turn.
And if you take 4 wounds off, you do bracket him.
And I think that sounds unlikely, considering I could barely do 1 or 2 previously.
Yeah.
But maybe the CP is better spent for a smite next turn into him for just D3 mortals, something simple like that. But I'm gonna risk this.
Fair enough. It's always tempting to have some play.
Yeah, being on. Yep, this might be a bad call, but I think 6s.
Whoa!
Whoa! What can I say?
Never
Whoa! Well, I get some F's in the chat for Mortarion.
Oh my! What the?
Okay, I'm rolling the 1
into a 6!
Okay, every 6 is an extra hit, so
What was that?
I don't know what to tell you.
Oh,
This is gross.
That's
with
gross.
The strength 8 weapon.
And this is
So
a
it's
strength
out of
8
the
weapon.
12
Yeah, this was a
shots.
12 shot.
So how
strength
many
8
hits
weapon.
did you have on Overwatch out of 12
He had like
shots?
7 hits.
I think it was more 6s than not 6s,
Yeah.
honestly.
So that, but you've so
This
then
is to
you've
wound, right?
This is
converted
to wound
that.
now.
All right.
4s,
Now,
rerolling 1s.
Ugh.
And
That's
every 6 is an
ridiculous.
extra attack. Oh, I did spike lots of 3s. This is an extra. This is a reroll in 1 here.
Yeah.
Into a 1.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Well,
take out the misses and then roll some extra attacks.
you got it. Single extra attack.
What the? That's still really good.
Extra attack does fail.
All right.
And the D6 gun from the stomach for how many shots? Just for 2. 6s, no.
Okay.
So we are looking at 8 saves on Morty,
Yeah, not excited about that.
which still unlikely to get more than 4 through.
Could happen though. So roll that many. Roll that more. Okay, so we dropped 3, so we can't
Okay.
be bracketed.
Not bracketed. 5 up, feel no pains.
Oh, okay. So we do
Okay.
take them.
That was close though. Do you feel like it was worth the CP?
1 CP for 3 wounds on him is definitely
Absolutely.
worth it.
And I would have CP'd maybe one of those if I had to, but this is the charge phase. So if
Yeah.
I fail the charge,
You need that.
I would have spent the CP already, but I'm okay.
He's okay.
And we're going to come to here.
And that's sort of the power. Like, I spiked incredibly well, and still it only did 3 wounds.
Yeah, that was an insane spikeage. So how I want to wind up is, you don't have any heroics, right?
No.
Yeah, they're not characters.
Nope.
So I will try to, like, after I fight, kind of come to here essentially and do a little bit of a move block.
Makes sense.
And it doesn't do that much, but it does something. So, and then we'll charge the drone.
Yeah, unfailable here.
Unfailable on a 6. We're fine.
And he does have that aura.
And he does have that aura, and he got it off with the +6 too. So we come to right there.
Things are slowed down.
So his aura is +6, +4. So a 10-inch aura now. So already we've got everything covered. Cool.
Things will be slow.
Things will be slow. So of course I'll start with Mortarion. There's no reason to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
7 attacks, I believe. Would be nice to have CP'd into like diabolical strength, which is also a play.
Really nice on him.
But not necessary. Because I do go to ×2, so I'm strength 16, so wounding on 2s.
You are wounding on 2s.
And I'm rerolling all hits and then wounds. So on 2s, we roll 3 1s. And I'll tell you yesterday that I rolled 1s into 1s playing Mortarion to no end. So I'm not even going to touch those dice. New dice alert. Okay, new dice paid off.
Yep.
Now, wounding on 2s, we're rolling 1s for Plague Weapon. We're not touching that dice. I'm too superstitious about Mortarion.
All right, I am Death Hex.
You're Death Hex, so it
What's
is.
the AP on these?
I
Is it 3 or
think it
4?
is -4.
If it
Yep,
is
it's -4. It's just
-4,
cleaving
so
right
I
into
am
you.
destroyed because of
So-
the minimums.
Yeah. So
That was pretty anticlimactic in the sense that you just did so much damage to him.
I almost could have shot elsewhere.
Almost could have. Yep. I
Does he
think.
blow?
Let's see.
I don't think I'd mind.
I think I mind a lot.
I
This
think
is
you mind
actually
a lot.
a big weakness of this list in 9th edition is I can't reroll this.
Off the table.
Uh-oh, he explodes.
Get in the
as
box.
much as
Get in the
Sound
box.
Sound King.
All right, we're good, right?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
2d6
that's close.
distance, d6 mortals on the explosion.
It's
So
only
that-
on a
that
6,
is-
right?
That is game ending
Yeah,
if it does
it's
go
only
off.
on a 6.
All right, cool. And I
But
would
you
have
get 3 shots at it.
piled into here.
I will pull him out
just
of there.
outside of an inch,
That is Titan Slayer.
and then I will come consolidate 3 as well.
You got it.
And yep, just not leave enough room for you to go
Yep.
touch the drone even.
And I think that plan of you overcommitted into 1 unit, which was, though, exactly the right call, because if one of these lives, it has enough damage to kill Mortarion.
Yeah,
when
it gets
strikes back.
angrier.
It gets angrier.
He goes from 5 attacks to like 9 attacks, 8 attacks.
It's
Something
not
like
pretty.
that?
It goes from, 5 to 9.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 attacks into your Nurglings.
You got it.
On 3s. And on 2s, re-rolling. Loving the weapon skill and ballistic skill 3 of Demon Engines these days. See,
So,
rolled a 1 into
one
1.
into
Didn't bring a
one.
new die in. Should have brought the new die in.
It is 9 saves, though, so these Nurglings are not long for this world. They are gone.
Yes, they are.
Is that any consolidate coming from him?
Yeah, I will have come here, and then I will just, yeah, I'll come this way 3. And stay outside of an inch of... Oh, I guess this is the closest, but...
Staying outside an inch of the wall from him,
Yeah.
though, so I can't get any unusual charges there.
Yeah. Would have been nice to touch the forest, but I don't think I probably could have come here, but then I risked not... By coming on the other side of you, I was going to shut this down whether or not I picked up the Nurglings. And if you had spiked, and then I was stuck on the other side of the Nurglings, I don't think I would have touched all the things with the aura. So that was kind of the concern there. But it does mean that he's not in a forest, and it means that I'm... The nice thing is I have blocked you here with Mortarion so that you can't punch me with that into the drone. So maybe...
Exactly. That drone is pretty protected. I would have to... I think my only option for the drone is the Lord Discordant trying to make a charge, which then gets rid of a pretty useful piece for the late game if I try to throw him up.
Yeah.
But that drone is really annoying, and if I were to imagine how this turn would look, I think if I can... So I guess going into my turn now, at the end of your turn, you have...
I've
that
hidden the while we
side,
stand we fight.
you got the while we stand. You have a nice hammer and anvil protection here.
Yeah, here, we'll get some close-up shots of it in as well.
I think if I can end this turn somehow with Mortarion and the Blight Drone destroyed, I have a strong position on the damage for the rest of the game, even though I'm weak on primaries and secondaries. So my path to victory still exists. I've only got 9 wounds left on Mortarion, and I could throw the kitchen sink at him to guarantee that he goes down in combat.
You can come back to the overhead. Yeah, I think that's smart.
I think a challenge is, though, that I cannot actually get this one into combat no matter what right now due to your ability to shut down his movement.
Yeah.
He could currently move 5 inches up this way. And what does he get from that? Really not much, because you've hidden enough things. The 5 inches is not going to get me any angles.
Right.
So he's a bit out of position. 3 inches to move this way only really backs him up. So he's kind of stuck thanks to the droning. It means this one's going to have to do all the work this turn.
Yeah.
You've turned off rerolls, right? Just natively.
So if you are within 3 inches of me, you don't get affected by auras. And if you're within 9 inches of Mortarion, you don't get rerolls.
Gotcha.
And Mortarion has the he counts as turn 4 on his contagion range, and that's why his turn off rerolls is that. Oh, actually, you couldn't have Overwatched as well, because he turns off Overwatch.
Do we want to undo that? I burn the CP back. Let's put him back to his 12, because turning off Overwatch, that's just one of his native wheeler traits he can take.
It's with the one that turns off your rerolls. One of those is you can't Overwatch, you can't set to defend. And I will double check to make sure of that, but
yeah, that we would just basically
just
put the
take
CP back. No problem there.
You're almost like, I'll take the CP.
I really do appreciate the CP. What gives me rerolls, though, and the rerolls aren't going to matter to him.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to set myself up to do then is to get the one that can get rerolls to be able to be a 9-inch distance from Mortarion, so basically back him up, and then get the shots.
Yeah, so it's the Gloaming Bloat Contagion. That's Mortarion's Anvil, and so it's the enemy cannot fire Overwatch or set to defend. And then the second part, we almost overlooked the first part. The second part is each time a model in an enemy unit makes an attack roll, the hit and wound roll cannot be rerolled.
And that's a 9-inch aura, so when you were 7 away from me from Overwatch, you just wouldn't have been able to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to try to do here then is keep my auras outside of his range.
Yeah, I think that's...
That way I still have auras onto my units.
Yeah, and that's one of the ways you have to play Mortarion is that if you are shooting heavy, if you're reliant on rerolls for melee, you're in a tough situation. If you are able to shoot him, get 9 inches away, shoot him.
Mm-hmm. So what I'll do here is dedicate 1 to the shooting job, 1 to the melee job, and then move block one of these characters to defend the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to throw the Lord Discordant up into that Blight Drone or into Mortarion, but I don't know if I can guarantee to kill Mortarion this turn, in which case that was just throwing him away. He'll probably be punched back since you have a CP for an interrupt.
And there's no way to position yourself here without touching Mortarion too, right? So
exactly. So I think that I'm okay keeping him in combat with Mortarion, since then you can't do the Plague Burst crawlers into him if you want to keep Mortarion in combat next turn.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think Mortarion one-shots him in combat. at 28 wounds and a 4-up invuln.
And no death hex, yeah.
And no death hex, so I think that he's okay to go into Mortarion in
I do have the 3 denies, so I can potentially deny your first Earth.
Still a 5 invuln. I'll take a 5 invuln.
Yeah, absolutely. And
speaking
invuln.
of CP, you gotta roll your Blight.
Oh, true. And how much CP do I have right now?
You're at 5 CP.
And I'm up to 3 after the...
Yes,
so,
you are.
Those spiking 6s on Overwatch
spots.
were a warp side effect of using a possible stratagem.
On a 7. On a 7, I do get a CP.
You get it.
Yeah, you can carry on.
All right, let me start to do some other movement. So you've definitely hurt my ability to engage. I think that the only path around that is to look to slide something up the side here. Is there a way to get something outside of 9 for... He has a 9-inch turn-off auras.
Yes.
So
he has a 9-inch turn-off rerolls, a 3-inch turn-off all auras.
My decision to engage might end up really hurting me here. If I'm really desperate, I can Tide of Traitor some cultists late in the game to do that. I will try to bring up these cultists this turn to make sure I have denies onto
the warp time play.
Onto Morty, exactly, for
I mean,
plays,
for the death hex play.
For plays, but I think he's not going to be able to... I'll make sure to base him so he doesn't get outside my range. And I do want to hide them still for... Just they're a great asset for later in the game, too.
Absolutely.
So you score 10 on primary, correct?
And I do get my 10 on primary.
So he does get 10 on primary.
Since
he
you're
gets
holding
2
3
on
and I'm holding
banners
3.
as well.
Yep. 10 on primary, 2 on banners.
End of my turn, I didn't get any on banners because I just put them up. I'm still trying to stand and fight. And I did get 10 for Titan Slayer.
Yeah.
And it's actually Titan Hunter. I looked it up. And Titan Slayer is back from 8th edition ITC, right?
Probably.
Because that's why it seems so familiar, and I looked at it, I'm like, wait a minute.
5 inches. I am going to use this guy's 3-inch movement, which is really nothing, to just get him off of this so that his charge, he could still slide through here and avoid the difficult terrain.
And he has enough to clear that, I'm
He had 3 inches there, exactly.
Cool.
And I think that he's...
Still unfailably.
Unfailable there. So the unfailable charge is important because failing that charge would be pretty bad. So whatever it is to be there.
There was nothing I could do about that. The kind of plan there was just kill one and slow the rest of them down.
And now that I have to sort of do a prioritization of which ones are the most important, how do I get them outside 9 and still give auras off here?
The units can't be affected by the auras if you're within 9.
Oh, so it's not just like I can't give auras off; they don't get affected by it.
So if you're within 3, you can't be affected by the aura at all.
Yeah.
And units that make attacks within 9 can't be affected. So that's what I was saying. If you're a shooting army, you need to stand 9.1 away.
That makes sense. So the auras are just turned off on both the ones emanating it and the ones who are. So I think at that point, I put all of these support characters onto 1, and it does beg the question of, do I want to bring the disco up? He is wounding you on 4s and then 5s, and I think I just can't risk that.
Just losing him right away.
Yeah.
So are you considering pulling back 3, and then, or maybe even this way 3? Because if we see 9 is to about there.
Yeah.
So I think with 3 you could clear it.
I think he's going to be able to clear it. Exactly.
And so if he comes 3 this way.
I think he comes back 3, and then I build a defensive system around him, and this one gets sacrificed to go into
he's shooty,
Morty.
and that one's punchy.
Yep.
That makes sense because you can get out. If you were on that crater, you'd be in a tough spot.
That's what I'm hoping to do here. So the 5 inches.
If you cut it like this way, you'd be fine.
That makes sense on a 5-inch move.
Yeah, go.
So I'll put the back of the base at that 5.
Yep, and I'll just hold 9 out for you.
Thanks. And I still can shoot Morty, even though I can't shoot that Plague Drone.
Exactly.
If that Plague Drone were within an inch of a wall, that would change a lot of the math here.
Yep.
But you've correctly positioned that. And I think that this throne might be the unit I use to move block to protect the Master Possession and the Disco.
You're going to move block Morty, is the idea?
Or move block potentially this drone.
Okay.
Just I needed to create something, some shield in front of the Master Possession.
Yeah. He's too critical to the game plan.
He's just a very important guy. So there's also the option of keeping him within 12 for a pistol shot to do D3 mortals.
So we'll take that out for now.
But I will I think just pop him back here.
I know. I actually I like that strat. Demon Shell.
I think there's possibly a reason to Demon Shell here. Actually,
the nice thing is that the thing is you average 2 wounds and then maybe I save 1, but if you
it's not really if everything else goes really poorly, it's worthwhile. And I think it's better off for actually me to advance him so that he can get back there.
Cool.
So he moves a nice.
Because he is minus, right? So
exactly.
I think a Demon Shell to finish off that last Blight Lord Terminator
would have been
just
epic.
Straight up 3 mortal wounds, yeah.
I think.
So he's moving 3 because of that. And then you don't have advances, do you? Just movement?
I don't. I think it's your total move for the turn.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
I do think you add the advance.
So add that up and then
but
have
I will
it.
double check that.
I moved him conservatively here. Then I moved him 5 total off of a 10.
No, it's just the move characteristic.
Gotcha. So then 3 and then the 2 from that terrain. I think that's 5 is correct there.
Yep.
And I'm outside 9 here. I'm at 8, and I have this difficult terrain. So he's pretty slow.
Yeah. And my aura was. It is start of turn 2, so I go to I count as being on turn 3 for the drone, which is 1, 3, 6. Plus 6 is full 12.
Yeah.
So
I'm full. So you're turning off auras is also 12?
No.
No, it's 9. That's still 9. Okay.
That one's still. Actually.
Let's just check that since I'm moving everything out to be outside 12.
The thing is, the only reason why it might not be is because the stratagem increases the range of everyone's contagion.
The flash outbreak?
Yes.
I thought it was just on one of your unit and one of the contagions, but let's just pull it up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were you're right, Nick, about flash outbreak.
No. I believe. So the selected unit has all of the same contagions, and then until the start of your next command phase, units from your army count the battle round number as 1 higher than the current battle round for the purpose of determining the contagion range.
So Mortarion.
But the thing is, he counts as being on 4 always.
Yeah.
So the wording of this says, units from your army count the battle round as 1 higher than the current battle round. So the current battle round is only 2.
I see what you mean.
So to me, that doesn't say that he goes to turn 5.
I see, yeah. That makes sense because he would still just be on 2, but then it gets overruled to 4. Or 3 and gets overruled to 4. Well, let's just see. Let me know if
I'll play it as 9, and if anyone tells us differently in the chat.
Exactly. If it's a 12-inch thing, then I just can't get out of the range of it, and so I will play a bit differently with the support characters.
Here's the other thing. Turn 5 is still at 9, so it's just stuck at 9.
Okay.
The only way Mortarion gets to 12 is with the spell.
Is with that spell, which did not go off on him, it went off on somebody else.
Yes, so definitely 9.
So this guy's 6 normally, reduces to 3, -2 for difficult terrain, so he's looking at a 1.
Oh, Brandon's calling me out for Gift of Plague instead of Gift of Contagion, the spell that I continue to call wrong every single time.
It's just like an ad-lib game.
Thanks, Brandon.
I'll advance.
Brandon's the homie, though.
We do like the interaction.
Yeah, no, Brandon he's the GOAT.
I was very tempted to ask him about the question before we just resolved it.
So you may have totally shut this guy down because he's he's moving 3, -2 for the forest.
And he can't get out of the forest with a 1, or can he?
With a 2-inch move, he gets out of it.
Gotcha.
Because it's 2 inches because it goes down from
he gets halved and then
to 3 to 1 to 1, but then I advance him.
Right.
So then he moves 2 inches.
So at a -2, he gets out.
So he does get out.
Cool.
So he's gonna get out this way.
So interestingly, the power of this slowing down his army was actually greater than I thought it would be.
It's pretty good.
I wasn't sure
pull him out of wars.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that it was going to be the best play, but in this case, it absolutely paid off. Just the amount of difficult, and when you're playing against an army with 3 super heavies like this, with the difficult,
it just stacks up.
Yeah, and even if this was a different layout where instead it was more rune dense and less of these kind of lanes to go through that are stuck with difficult, I think even then you'd still have problems kind of going around the runes, like getting slowed down on an even more dense layout would be pretty tough too.
Yeah, the ruins and the dens combine to make me not have too many options. I have to sort of rely on my stat line.
Yeah.
And the problem is with Death Hex, that stat line gets chewed right through.
Yeah.
But it does mean that it makes my decisions pretty simple here.
That's nice.
So the thing that I would do, let me just see.
Oh, sure.
One thing that I would check is to make sure that I am cleanly outside 9.
Yeah, I think you got
just
that.
looking at 9, and that looks good to me.
Yep, I think you definitely got it.
I think you guys pre-measured that.
Yeah, it should be good.
Now the decision is, I think with him outside 9 and this guy moving 2 inches this way, I need to angle him so that I stay outside 9 with him, which is just barely there, but then also get this 6-inch aura, which is off by ½ an inch. So I need an extra inch to be able to get that aura. And it sucks to use this reroll on the advance, but I think I have to get that aura off for the exploding 6s.
Yeah. Get a close-up of your very cool Disco Lord like that, Emperor Children scheme. Is that what we're going for?
Yeah, he mostly runs Emperor's Children, but here he is.
So custom
With any Slanesh group, he's got style.
So we'll just do a quick show, demonstrate what's going on here. This forest here is slowing it down. We got the crater over there slowing it down, and because they're so close to this drone here, it's created an issue where all of his models are very, very slow right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if I was going to be 9 inches away from him with the Lord of Skulls, I could have kept the Lord of Skulls a bit further this way to then just guarantee I'm not going to be out of aura range.
Yeah.
But I moved the Lord of Skulls first, and that kind of hurt my movement. So I have to spend a CP here to correct my movement, basically. Roll that advance into a 1. So I've burned CP for no reason, and I've lost an aura, which is a bit painful. But
that hurts.
That happens sometimes. I'm going to now move on into the psychic phase. We're going to look to cast. I'm probably going to spend the CP to reroll all hits and wounds here onto the shooting one. So that means I'm probably going to focus just on casting a 4-up invuln.
Cursed Earth, right?
Cursed Earth, which goes off on an 8.
Okay. So I will try to deny you with Mortarion.
You got it.
And this would be very big, so I may end up CPing this. You are denied on a 9.
Denied. So there's only a 5-up invuln on that one.
That's really big.
And then I'll go for a smite.
That's really big.
I'm not going to go for rerolling ones to hit and wound because I'm going to burn the CP to do that.
Yeah, and you'll do it more efficiently anyway.
And it's a super smite.
Wow, I'll try to deny you on a 12. Whoa!
Okay.
Wow!
All right, you can't believe
God.
it. Can't believe it. That super smite would have been pretty big, but it did not go off.
What would you roll just for the curiosity's sake? Like a big 6?
2.
Right.
I would take 2 though.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna go right into shooting.
Wow. That was nuts. I think your psychic last turn I got no denies off, and then this turn
No, this was something. So I have no powers off.
We talk about how Mortarion
you still have
hates...
one more deny, right? So I could
have...
burn a CP to try to now cast Infernal Power, but it's a failable thing. I'd rather just burn the CP in the shooting phase.
Yeah, 100%.
To reroll all hits and wounds, and it's going to be this one right into Mortarion.
Yeah.
And he's not exploding 6s to wound anymore because of that failed advance.
Yeah. So unfortunately, a lot of things kind of just misaligned for you right there.
Yeah, I think I have to just rely on the pure data sheet here. Mortarion kind of pushes people off of their auras.
Yeah. And you're -1 to hit, but you're +1
again with a disco.
Gotcha. Back to 3s.
Yeah. So
but full rerolls anyway.
Full
didn't
rerolls,
even matter.
and it didn't matter. I got an extra hit.
Awesome.
No more extra wounds though. And we're doing force to wound.
Yep.
6s don't explode here.
Would have been nice.
Would have been very nice.
But full rerolls to get those wounds back up.
Just 20% conversion there. But here are your saves.
Not this.
1 damage here.
All right, 1 damage. Looking for 4s. I make 50%, so I take 4.
Yep.
And on 5s, I don't feel them. I don't feel 2.
Down to 10.
So down to 10.
D6 on the stomach gun.
Big
It is 6. And this is rerolling all hits and wounds.
Yeah.
Fortunately, so the -1 to hit on him, what's that coming from?
Miasma.
Miasma, right? That counters the discos, but I'm rerolling these.
Yep.
That's going to be 1 extra from the 6, so 6 hits.
Cool.
5s with the full reroll. So 1 so far. Turns into, if only exploding 6s. 4 saves.
Yeah,
these are D3 damage.
The combo is nuts. So these are D3, so 4-ups. I make none. How much CP do I have?
You have 6 CP unless you spent 1 recently.
Did not spend, so I will reroll that. Okay.
You got it.
So
So
down
this is D3
1.
damage. Do I get a spike upwards here? I get a total of 4 wounds.
Yes, you do. So take all 4.
Take all 4.
So down to 6, and I obviously will need to CP1 in combat as well when I fail saves, but I figured I had enough that I wanted to try to survive here.
Yeah, makes sense. And because you're -1 to hit, my Lord of Skulls here is going to be hitting on a pretty rough 4s.
Yeah.
So I think I need to put his shots into him as well.
Yeah.
Alternatively, I could shoot into that drone, but I'm not getting anything. Does he heal a wounded turn too, but being a demon engine?
I don't believe so.
All right, so I think demon engines, if he could heal a wounded turn, is just a waste of time. I think he's going to have to put shots inefficiently into Morty.
He does not heal wounds.
Okay. Let's see. I think toughness 7. What I will do is the D3 shot, D3 damage into him.
Okay.
And then the rest into Mortarion.
All right. Interesting decision to split here.
The wounding on 5s is just a tough breakpoint into Morty.
Yeah.
And I think that all I need is to...
You'd rather have a bit more efficiency, I suppose?
Yeah. I think I'm okay to not killing Mortarion here and making you have to decide to fall back or not with him.
Okay.
Taking him down to his lowest bracket. How many attacks is he down to?
He goes to lowest at 5.
Okay.
Starts at 7, gets -1, -1.
I mean, that's the decision, but I'm going to go for it. The D3 damage into that Plague Drone.
Fair enough.
So I'm hitting on 4s here, and no auras, no rerolls.
This is into Mortarion?
Yeah, this is in Mortarion.
Cool.
That is 4 saves.
Gotcha.
AP 2, 1 damage because of your reducing damage.
Which is pretty tasty. So I drop 3, and then I drop 1.
Just the 1.
So I take 1 wound.
1 more of those going through would have been pretty nice because then you'd be mostly killable with 5 damage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 1 single shot into the Plague Drone. Didn't seem to have mattered. No minuses to hit as well, so I do hit on a 3. And I do wounds.
Cool.
So 1 save on the Plague Drone.
Will you take it?
For D3, so it has a spike. I
Into
don't, so
1.
just 1 damage.
Cool. Which puts me at 6. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And we'll do the disco, putting an autocannon into Mortarion, hopefully for an extra shot. -1 to hit from...
Yeah.
Oh, but he's +1 to hit himself automatically, so we have 2 hits. 5s, 1 save, AP 1.
Sure thing. You get me.
1 damage because
All right.
he's
you don't
fine.
Get me.
Oof. So he is looking at 5 right there.
Which could be 1 hit. All you would
could.
need is 1.
It could make it 1 through, but probably not. Well, oh, you know what? You are not able to benefit from obscuring, so we have some cultist shots coming in.
Absolutely. I was going to do it to you, so do it back.
I think it's just 4 that have the guns.
Sure.
That
Bunch
is
of hits.
Bunch of hits. 6s.
No.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing happening. Oh, we do have the option now to Demon Shell from the Master Possession.
He advanced, though.
You are right. I advanced, so I cannot Demon Shell.
If you'd like to not advance, you could do that.
Oh, no, because then he's inside your range of Contagion.
Yeah.
So it's not so great there. So here's what we're going to have to do. Put the charge in from the Lord of Skulls. Unfailable because of the way I moved. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
He rolls a 10.
Sweet.
So now I have some decisions here. My charge is not modified by you, right?
No.
So one thing I could consider doing is if I come this way, if I do kill Mortarion, I can then tag that drone so that he has fewer options to come mow down my characters next turn. And I think that has to be the best move to do.
I would agree. The only other thing would be to touch this to later shoot into it, but that's probably not that great. It's probably doing more for me than this is.
Yeah, and I think being in the middle also means that then I can't come up through one of these angles and get just better central positioning.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think I use that to jump back here. All the auras are off on him, though.
Yeah. Send it.
So I have 1 CP left to reroll something if I need to.
And so you being at full health is actually better for me.
It is. It is.
Because you only have 5 attacks, right?
Yeah, unless I wanted to do the huge number of attacks, the 15.
Right.
But without auras on me,
You're not
the 6
fishing.
to spike is not great.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's 4s and then 2s here.
4s
So
and
I could
2s.
totally mess this up. I don't think there's any way for me to tag that drone either on the consolidate.
If you kill Mortarion, you can tag
If I
him.
kill him, but there's no way for me to do that right now.
Yeah.
You just blocked him out.
Yeah.
Have some mild faith in the blood god.
Oof. And no rerolls.
I will CP this one.
You can't
or do
CP.
You turn off the reroll to CP. That makes
Yeah.
sense. And then it's 2s. Ooh, 1 single save.
Wow.
So those 6s gave you nothing?
No benefits. No more auras.
We make our 4
Which
up.
she's fine with.
Ugh. That hurts. But I am fully bracketed, I believe.
How
Probably.
many wins are you at?
I'm on 5.
Yeah, you're fully bracketed. He's bracketed at 6.
So close. So yeah, that did hurt. Yep, 1 to 5 wounds left. All right, so this is on 2s, rerolling 1s, and then this is on 2s,
And then it's on 2s again.
rerolling 1s.
Strength is not going down.
Come on. I rerolled the same dice. Risky.
All right, so just a 5 up
5
here.
saves.
I have
and
no way to buff him. Ooh, they all go through. So let's get some damage.
Wow. You could CP those if you wanted to.
Yeah. Let's see. Could he go down here? Because I made a plan around him not going down. These are
You're
D3
taking
plus 3?
15 plus an average of another 10. Taking an average of 25 damage.
Okay, so he would live on 3 in that case. And you could then smite him, though. I think I'll have to burn a CP here
Okay.
to keep him around.
Last CP.
Nope.
Oh,
4 up would have been nice, but
Yeah.
that was denied. And plus no auras.
the dice have swung.
So let's see. I don't
All
think
right.
you kill him here, but you do a lot of damage.
So looking for the first one? Okay, we're not going to start CPing like that. How much CP do I have?
You have 5 CP.
Yeah.
You know, a more efficient thing I could have done is a 6-up Feel No Pain instead of trying to reroll a save. That's a more guaranteed average number of saves on him.
Yeah, probably.
But we're ready. We've gone on the path.
All right, fair enough.
Can't turn back.
I will CP that in case I live the dream. Okay, 2. Trying to live the dream.
2, 3, 3, 2. I think he's on 1.
Yeah, because you take 15 plus 10 is 25 plus 2. Take 27.
He's on 1.
Oh, wow.
So you're stuck in combat with him
Until I smite you.
until you smite him. Exactly.
You will be
and
smitten.
you are based.
I am definitely
would be
based.
the plan.
Yes, 100%. We got big chunky models here.
You got it.
No worries.
So I do suffer a bunch that turn in terms of my secondaries, though.
Yeah.
Just get my 2 more banners, and I get my 0 on engage.
Yeah. That was a really rough turn. If you want to talk about that as I start my turn off.
No, I mean, Mortarion is really tough to deal with. We saw him, because I could not do the damage into him in combat, we did see him take 27 wounds off of this Lord of Skulls with his punchback.
Yeah.
So that went pretty poorly. I would say, though, that I was planning on not killing him, and really importantly, just making sure that he's tagged in combat with that Lord of Skulls. Since I think that the other Lord of Skulls can probably now shoot him and remove him the next turn. But this is also sort of distracting from the other things that are happening. So now I'm in a bit of a secondary hole, which the only way for me to get out of is by having some decisive victories against Mortarion. So that's a bit how this Death Guard list is playing. It's saying Mortarion is the distraction Carnifex who you have to deal with, and then Evan has this defensive, very easy to score secondaries and primaries. It's kind of like this Tyranid list that's now doing well with these Demacarons, which are your distraction Carnifexes.
Yeah, I like that list a lot too.
Yeah, it's just throwing the Demacarons around, making them be impossible to ignore, jumping over your models, jumping over your screens, killing your key elements. Meanwhile, it has like 60 Tyranid Gaunt bodies that are scoring primary. So that is, I think, a good approach to 9th in general. Have a few distractions. I think the Lord of Skulls list has a big weakness, being that you're putting too many points into the distraction Carnifexes. You can't play the mission too well.
Yeah. So just to talk about my turn a bit, start of the turn, I've been moving, but we're going to go to the command phase. Mortarion rerolls himself, and the question is, do I want to Ferric Outbreak on this guy? And I think for 2 CP, just to keep slowing you down, especially with the difficult going on here, it's just really powerful.
It's fantastic.
So I will spend the 2 CP, which puts me down to what, sir? Because I gain 1 and then spend 2.
So depending on what you roll, you could be back down to 4 or 3.
I think I got 1 at the start of your turn, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did?
I think I saw at the start of his turn.
Oh yeah.
So I
so
can't
that
roll.
puts you straight down to 3.
So right now, like charging into the Master Possession would be pretty. It's a play.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty brutal. I would have loved to have screened him off.
Or tagged him after killing Mortarion.
Or tagged him, exactly. The screening was impossible due to all the debuffs on my movement.
Yeah.
I think my Disco could have... It had the movement to get there and screen, but then it's in the Mortarion turnoff of Aura's range.
Yeah.
So
one question.
That's the trade-off.
So I have the strat to increase the range of plague weapons by 6, which means I can make the flamethrower 18 off the Foul Blight spawn.
Yeah.
Which could get me into the Lord of Skulls or probably into the Blood Throne.
Did you spend the Ferric Blight?
I'm going to spend 2 for that, yeah.
Okay,
puts me down to what?
down for that.
What am I at now?
That's what puts you at 3.
3. Okay, cool. So if I were to do that, I can't target him, right? Because he's under.
He is under
10.
Under 10. Yep.
So
he's at 6 actually after that explosion. Not after explosion, after the bouncing mortals.
Yeah. So at 18, I would. Okay. So there's no way I could advance to get there. I would have to spend the CP to shoot him. 18 this way. I do think I can touch the Lord of Skulls.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'll just roll an advance for him anyway for 3. So just to make sure we get that figured out. And he is going to touch the wall, of course, and so in order for him to see out of it. So I've spent the 2 for that. Over here, I've lined up a smite into the Lord of Skulls. I have a smite from Mortarion. The other caster could come out to smite. He doesn't have... Warptime's not doing anything for me over here right now.
Yeah.
Prescience on the tank is going to happen. The other spell would be smite. So in the meantime, we'll advance him for 2, so he's going 8, because he's not slow like the Death Guard. If I come out here, I am opening my characters up to being shot really hard.
Yeah.
Now the question is, how could I protect them? If I brought some Poxwalkers out, maybe I warp time the Poxwalkers, get them within range. Otherwise, I have to bring out a tank, opens it up to the shooting from the other one. I don't think he picks it up with 1 round of shooting, but I don't know if I want to risk it. The other thing is I might have given him so many threats that he doesn't have shots to put downfield into the tank. And then if he starts trying to pick off my characters, at this point, I've gotten the value out of most of them that I'm happy with. And 18 into this guy. Like, I think I'm willing to throw away the Plague Caster, but I don't think I'm willing to throw away the Death Hex character. Because Death... Oh, I guess... I know, he doesn't have Death Hex.
Mortarion's got it.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. So we will throw him away because he only has warp time. And if he wants to shoot that character, he's not putting shots into things that are in his face. We'll advance the Poxwalkers. I'm aware of his Tide of Traitors play. So just trying to screen out some objectives. They're going 6, which is not big. This is, again, where I don't feel like he has enough plink shooting. If he's putting shots from his Lord of Skulls into my Poxwalkers right now, he has a lot of other things going on.
Exactly. If Mortarion was removed, this wouldn't make any sense. But this makes total sense to do now that I'm tied up dealing with Mortarion.
Yep, and I'll just ensure my backfield is screened out in case that was a consideration. So
at this point, the game's in Evan's hands. It's just up to him to not mess it up.
Absolutely. So I have to keep this Blight Lord safe. These guys are not even going to come out for the rest of the game. I could push Cultists up and try to take that objective from him. But as it stands, he has an obsec on this one. And the only way I start denying primary on this hold 1 is taking 2 of his objectives in the same turn. And there's just, like, if I got Cultists on there, whoop-de-doo, I took 1 of them. There's no way I'm going to get obsec here or clear the Demonettes off this objective.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, these Demonettes are going to be holding that for a while.
So we'll just bump the Cultists up to as far as possible, but not coming out. Put him on the top, but he's not on the top, of course.
Sure thing.
All right, so the real question is, what is this Blight Drone doing? Because Mortarion's going to stay in combat and then hopefully make about an 8-inch charge into that guy. Because that's the only charge. I think you're an inch away from the wall here. I would need a 10 anyway, so that's not something we would want to risk. So the question is the drone. What is the melee profiles of... I know the Disc Lord's scary. Is this thing scary at all?
No, it's got 5 attacks and D3 damage.
Gotcha.
But it's not terrifying into your drone, I would say. The drone will not be able to be destroyed by it.
Yeah, so I think I want to come get that character because I want to get the Master Possession, but I don't think I can't get to him without getting heroicked.
Yeah.
And there is a chance that you pick up my drone.
And also, the Disco Lord does still give him a -1 to hit, which would affect him in combat.
Yeah,
for a 6-inch aura.
Yeah, it makes him way less efficient. Coming this way would need like an 8. Which still is not great. And even then, he's going to hold the objective because I'm not going to pick up the whole squad.
Yeah.
If I come 6, yeah, I would say like an 8, maybe even a 9.
Basically, with these Demonettes, as long as you don't wipe the squad, I see it as a benefit for you to go into them because you're wasting attacks that go elsewhere.
So yeah, I've played risky here with these characters. I just don't think he has enough things to effectively shoot them. And if he wants to pick them up, it doesn't change my objective scoring. It just means that I get enough smites off. So speaking of smites, we'll start rolling some smites up.
Let's do it.
We'll start with the Backcaster. He's going to smite. He's going to prescience, and those will be his 2 casts. So smite on a 5 goes off.
All right. Are you within deny?
I don't believe I am because just like you.
And that is going to be the end.
Although just like you, I did not.
We did not pre-measure.
Did not pre-measure.
That is going to be the end of the Lord of Skulls.
Yep. I almost scolded you for not pre-measuring, and then I did it myself.
Here we go. Look for 6.
Oh, I saw it too.
Yeah, I know.
Whew. That would have been,
I was not looking for a 6.
Yeah, that would have been.
It's 2 5s to explode so far. We're getting close.
I know. So I have an 11 into the Disco Lord, and that's just not an option. So they're both going to have to go beat up this Blood Throne.
That is right.
That's fine. So the other spell will be Prescience onto the tank, which goes off on a 7.
Okay.
And the other Plague Caster will do Miasma on Mortarion, which goes off on a 10. You are probably in deny of that guy, but it is on a 10.
I'm not going to try to deny that.
I think he might just be out also. And then we'll... he doesn't smite now, so that's fine. We'll do Gift of Contagion on...
Gift of Plagues.
Gift of Plagues, whatever it's called. Assuming I make this charge, I'm here. This is all shut down.
Yeah.
I think I'll put it on the drone in case the drone wants to come this way. Just because Mortarion probably kills that dude.
Yeah.
So will actually their third spell would be Death Hex. What's the invuln on this? Dude?
5 up invuln, and I think a 6 up armor, so basically nothing.
All right, so I'm gonna Death Hex the tank.
That makes
Lord of
sense.
Skulls. Death Hex fails on a 4. I'm down to 3 CP.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to 2 with that. That's fine. I will try to Death Hex you. Fails again. So down a CP.
Okay.
And then my last spell will be, if I come here, it'll be turn 4 at the start of your turn. No, turn 3.
Just turn 3.
So, but I've already broken him out, so he counts as 4. So 4 is 9 inches. So once he's here, I should be able to get everything.
Yeah.
So no reason to cast that. I'll go with the smite. And how many wounds does he have?
He has 6 left.
The Blight Drone?
Sorry, the throne, 6 left. Yep.
Oh,
He took a mortal from something else.
Actually, is he? Yeah, he is the closest, right? Because I can see him.
You sure can.
Yeah, he's closer. So smite goes off. You want to try?
Let's see. What else do you have to cast?
I think
here?
that's it.
I think I'm gonna have to deny there.
Yep, go for it.
I do deny.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Good thing your other smites were out of my deny range.
Yeah. Seriously. All right, that's fine. So we'll go to the shooting phase. Cast. And I do have miasma up on him.
Yep.
He has 5 wounds left. This drone has taken 1, so it's on 8, as we said.
Sounds good.
Cool. So shooting phase. I'll do the 2 into the Lord of Skulls.
Sounds good.
And we'll do the not buffed one yet. Unfortunately, the not buffed one, which is looking like 1 hit and 1 wound. -4, you don't have Death Hex, unfortunately.
I do say it.
Death Hex would have been nice. So D6 for 2, both hit.
And these are 2 damage or 3?
These are 2.
Okay.
Well, you're fine. Cool.
Fine.
And Slugger, 3s and 5s. 1 save.
One
-1.
save. 4.
Cool. 3 for 3. So now the other thing is with this other one that is prescienced. Do I want to go to the flat 3 there? I can't target. I could target him, but that doesn't do anything for me because he's going to die. Putting shots in the cultist again.
And he might not be targetable because he's within 3 of the vehicle, the disco.
Oh, the Discord Lord does cover for him.
Does cover.
Forgot about that. Although I would be closer probably to him than
Yeah, we have to measure out if the Lord of Skulls is closer.
Probably, yeah. Lord of Skulls, probably. All right, so I will put everything into the Lord of Skulls again with the prescienced one. And I have 2 CP. I don't see a situation where I'm needing to interrupt, but it's possible. Mortarion's dead on impact. And then after that, I just don't think I'm going to need to interrupt with the drone. If I'm interrupting with the drone, it's fishing for damage. It's not affecting the game in a significant way. So I'll spend the 1 CP to make a damage 3 mortar. And I'll roll 2 shots first, which both hit and both wound.
Okay.
So 5 up invulns. Make 1, fail 1.
D3 plus
D3 plus 3 for 5.
All right, he's down to 23.
And this is D6 shots for 5. Sweet, we don't have to CP that. This is prescience, so hitting on 2s and on 4s. Oh, a bunch of 2s in there. So 2 more saves.
2 more saves for 3 damage.
Oh, he doubles
what a
me.
hero. Now my luck's turning around, but
And yeah,
that is,
but that's how the game works, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is also a moment where
Master Possession takes 1, Disco Lord takes 1. Disco Lord heals 1 anyway.
Yeah, so he's down to 3. So
Right,
that's gonna keep chipping
2.
away there.
Yeah. So not the most efficient use of CP there, but getting a couple flat 3s would have been nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're not in a position where this damage mattered too much. Your game plan still is around. This is all nice to have.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm in a position +1 from prescience, and then 5s, 2 wounds. The stubber.
You got it.
I'm in a position to, if I can keep him on the back foot, keep slowing him down, go with the exact game plan that we came up with. If Mortarion was hideable, I could have ran up and warp timed him to safety. Like at that point, you literally changed the game plan to I don't even need to hurt you anymore. I'm just gonna run away. But alas, that's what we're stuck with. Okay, so I'm down to 2 CP now.
Down to 1 CP after you spent.
Down to 1 CP.
Because you re-rolled and then you just spent 1 for the flat 3.
Oh yeah. Okay. So now the question is, I just took myself out of range to do this plan, which is unfortunate. Throw the flamer at you, but that's kind of fine. It's better to save 1 CP for this charge right here.
Yeah.
Just to get in your face.
Makes sense.
Auras. So we'll go to Mortarion first into your dude.
Yep.
I have no more. I have random shooting that I guess I won't forget to do.
Sure. Those are Terminators.
Sure, and cultists. So
Yeah, absolutely.
3,
I'm
4, 5.
I'm taking some damage already.
And on 6s, nothing.
I'm
Good
at
tuck.
21.
And Blight Launcher, 1 hit, does not wound. 4, 8, 12 bolter shots. And on 6s, 1 wound.
All right, 1 plink.
No minus.
Looking for a 3.
Cool. You're
fine.
good. Oh, lantern.
Yeah, the lantern.
Into your tank.
Makes sense. He's already taken some damage.
Hits, wounds.
All right, looking for a 5.
Looking for 5. -3 for 3.
He takes it.
Takes a
Ooh,
flat
down
3.
to 18.
Not a bad play. That's it for shooting. Blight. Terminators can't shoot. Characters done. Cool. So Mortarion into the Blood Throne. On a 9, I think that's what I needed.
That is a potential nail in the coffin here.
Yeah.
But I think that guy's just getting picked up. He wasn't death hexed at least.
He
and
was
you're staying more than 3 away from my disco to Blight Intervention.
Absolutely.
I don't think you even could get within 3 if you wanted without the movement.
Yep. Mortarion's on 5.
Yep.
So now that I know that dude is basically dead, there's no point in putting 2 guys. Even if I kill him,
Yeah.
you have obsec, so no point there. So I can't. I have to clear the.
To use the fly.
Yeah. So I would need a 6
terrain.
to get the back of my base here, which means the front of my base. I think it's like an 8 or a 9. I'll just roll it up and see what happens.
Take a look. If it's around 8 or 9, we'll measure it out.
Nope.
Not on a 4, and it's probably not last CP worthy.
Yeah, it just can't be last CP worthy. So, at least he's in the forest, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Could have charged in there to make sure that dude died, but I don't think he lives.
I have other things to care about.
And if you spike hot right now, it doesn't really matter because if you live, it's not helping you on primary, you're already getting it. And auras are turned off, and he just makes the auras better.
Exactly.
So these are the hits, all hit.
This is not going well already with all the hits.
All wounds.
All wounds. So I need a spike on the thighs here.
Yeah.
Decent,
Decent, but not enough.
Not enough. So there is no more throne.
Yeah. And I'll pile in closer to you. I don't think I can get. There's nothing I can get that does anything for me. But I will. Yeah, you're like half moved already, so.
Exactly.
I'll just stay where I am. Cool. Your turn, bro.
Okay.
So end of my turn. I'm still standing. I had 3 banner points.
Yep, 3 banner points go up.
And what else do I have? Titan Slayer. I killed 2
so
now.
You got an extra 2 points on Titan Hunter.
That was a rough turn 2, honestly. Your counterpunch to
Yeah,
Mortarion.
the counterpunch didn't work, and so my game plan, unfortunately, in this matchup is I have to win the battle for the middle, and then start getting my engage points, and start routing your backfield.
Yep.
As it is right now, if we were just to say, hey, let's look at the scoreboard. Let's say I have an amazing turn right now, and I pick up both of these.
Right. That's the minimum that you need to do.
Yeah, I think if I do that, what is my hole on the rest of the everything else? If I do that, my hole is down 5 on while we stand, my 5 to your 10.
Yep.
Down engage versus
Titan Slayer.
Titan Slayer, which I'm ready. You're at 12, so I'm down 10 there.
Yeah.
And I'm down on banners. If I can keep holding this, I still max banners, and I still get 40 on primary.
You only get 10 on banners.
Oh, sorry, 10 banners, but you get 15.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you're down 5 on banners.
So I'll be down 5 on banners. I need to pull these. This guy has to go around and raise that banner potentially with a master of possession.
Yeah.
Who's got other jobs instead. Yeah. So I'm a bit of a hole here. That's downside, I think, of running a skew list is that I have to make gambles on the battle for the middle going well.
To be fair, I thought your skew, like generally when it skews well. That is why skew lists work. And I was really afraid that your skew list would tear me apart.
That is like the first turn shooting sort of shows like this thing can just do damage into Blight Lords. Like your Blight Lords need to be really defensive.
Yeah.
I think right now there's very few paths to victory, but I think the way that it does work is I try to remove both of these, and then I spend my last 2 turns going up, getting engaged, trying to take back at least banners, but really the problem is that your while we stands are just hidden and will be hidden until the end. Even with the warp time, I'm not getting up to them since they're probably more than an inch from the wall. So I can't really easily get charges into them either.
Yeah.
So I think that this battle for the middle sort of decided things.
It's not one that you thought you would lose, and it's not one I thought you would lose.
Yeah, it's like he just does 27 damage into a guy. I think what happens is
that's insane.
If you turn off rerolls on this list, it shows the power of turning off rerolls.
Yeah.
The rerolls and the auras are what allows my damage to spike upwards.
Yeah. And it's surprising because you don't think that your list relies on rerolls so heavy, but it does add up.
It's also the auras getting +1 to hit.
Auras.
Yeah, it's the auras of +1 to hit. It's the exploding 6s don't add up. You can't give them auras either.
And I can't CP reroll. I just automatically did that. I was like, I'm going to CP reroll a hit here.
Yep.
So I think we do this turn and sort of see, do I still have tools to remove Mortarion in this turn?
Yeah.
And maybe tag this guy to make him have to make decisions for falling back. So
I'm impressed by the power of the Gloaming Bloat Warlord trait.
Oh yeah, turning off things. I do know the fact that you have no more CP to interrupt to at least really ramp up my damage.
Now I do.
Oh great.
Yeah.
Now you have to do.
Roll
now
for
I'm
it.
to. Yeah, not only am I impressed by the obviously Mortarion's turning off rerolls, the 3-inch turning off auras is huge. That would shut off your exploding 6s and your 6. And the thing is, it's only 3-inch range, so you think, oh, it's not that powerful. But 3-inch range when you're trying to punch me in combat is everything.
Is all the whole thing.
And so that's powerful. And I was going to say that I'm more impressed by even the droning Warlord trait to turn off to slow down the army. There's like some matchups where it's not that powerful. If I'm going into Harlequins, it's not doing that much. But against an army like this, it's way more powerful than I expected it to be. And the core of the army is Ferrymen. So I have geared this army to take advantage of that. And that's why I think even the Warptime patrol with the Sorcerer and the Cultists, Warptime, you think, oh, turn 1 Mortarion's getting double moved, he slammed into my ranks, GG. That's one play. But turn 1, I throw up a drone with making your whole army slower. That's another play with Warptime. Turn 3, after I have done the 2 warp turns, turn 1 and turn 2, then I'm using it on a 5-man Terminator squad. They only move 5, right? Super slow Death Guard. Well, now they move 10 and charge. That's how I'm getting to a midfield objective with Terminators. So I think the Warptime has play turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, even turn 4 and turn 5. I might be taking my Obsec Poxwalkers. They only move 4 now. That's pretty slow. I might want to go 8 plus a D6. That could get me onto an objective. I could put some Obsec onto an objective. Maybe it's the Cultists. Maybe it's the, for whatever reason, the Plague Burst Crawlers if they need to get out of a situation, or who knows. I think Warptime has a lot of utility. And the Dark Hereticus powers with Death Hex is huge. Prescience. I think you start with Prescience, like we said, and then your first CP you spend is on Mortarion for Death Hex. And the power of Death Hex was huge.
Oh yeah. I think, so I'm going to Psychic right now.
Yep.
I think it's a relatively simple phase. I have no benefit of either Cursed Earth or Infernal Power here, since you just turn off those auras onto my models. The main benefit I have really is a Smite.
Yep.
So I'm at 1 CP.
Yep.
The main benefit I have here is a Smite. I do want Mortarion to stick around till fight phase, charge phase, so I can at least get a charge off and get the movement out of that. I just need to chip him down to like 1 wound, ideally.
Yeah.
So we'll start out though with a Smite from the Master of Possession.
Sure thing.
And then I probably will put a 4-up invuln as well in case I do kill Mortarion.
For sure.
And then I get that invuln in your turn.
100%.
So here's the Smite. Goes off on a 6.
Sure. I will try to deny you with Mortarion. He despises the Psychers. Oh, not this time. So he takes D3.
He does take D3.
For the big 3. But he ignores 2.
He only takes 1. So there is a rule this Master Possession has that I actually have forgotten up until this point, but I don't think it was relevant. If you roll a doubles to cast within 12 of them, that's a perils.
Okay.
So it is a thing that we'll have to keep in mind, but I think that
it would have just been Mortarion's cast.
It would have just been Mortarion's cast, and I think that you didn't get any doubles. But it's a thing that I will try to remember.
Yeah, it's a good tip to remember.
So 1 mortal wound, 1 wound down.
Yep.
Would have preferred 2, but let's see what I can do for my next cast, which will be the 4-up invuln, which goes off on a 7.
And I'll try to deny you because why not?
Why not? Deny. No 4-up invuln even if I kill him.
Again. Last turn denying you on Boxcarth. He rolled a super
The
smite on
super
an 11.
smite. Okay.
Got denied with box
Well, I
charge.
have to say I got my fair bit of luck with those 8 6s to hit in the Overwatch,
yeah.
making 16 hits,
But then
which of
those
course
got robbed from you.
would have been robbed. I don't think actually I would have even gotten the exploding 6s to hit because the aura would have been turned off on him within the 9-inch range anyway.
That's
So
true.
we
No,
canceled that.
He turns off the auras in 3.
Oh, okay. So the
So you
Overwatch would have spiked, but it cannot Overwatch
Yeah.
against its gloaming
Gloaming
bloat
bloat.
that
Yeah,
gives
so when
it
I'm
no more
within 9,
Overwatch.
no Overwatch, which is honestly nice against certain armies that can spike with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Against Tau. If you ever found Tau on the competitive scene.
If you did. The sorcerer has no invuln, is that right? He's just a
That is
regular
correct.
sorcerer. So
You
I'm going to put the AP4 shots from the. I need to start doing some damage here into things which give you plays for late game.
For sure.
So I need to shoot that sorcerer.
Absolutely. His warp time is
and
huge.
he's available, right? So I'm
He
going to
is.
put the D6 shots into the sorcerer, and I'm going to put the 12 shots into Morty
For sure.
from Lord of Skulls.
Yep. I
So.
was aware this was going to possibly come my way.
D6.
And,
just for 3 with no auras, no rerolls. So I'm just hitting here on 3s. Oh, do I pop a CP for reroll hits and wounds? I can't because you turned it off.
Right.
So it's just 2 hits.
Cool.
It is 2 wounds at AP4.
AP4. All right. And I'm not even touching that cover, so I can't do anything.
So do I get 4? You're down to 3 wounds because of your mortal you took earlier.
Yeah, I took 1.
So he does go down.
Cool. If I was touching the cover, you know what I would have done is use the 1 CP Word Bearer strat to auto passive save.
Amazing. On a 6, but he doesn't have an invuln, so it wouldn't have done anything. Oh,
Right, but if he was in cover, he'd have a 2-up.
Yeah, exactly. But as it is right now, that doesn't do anything.
He just ate a shot, which I risked. But here's the thing, my thinking, his value is not that great once I already have the Chaos Familiar strat. So I can make any of my Psychers do warp time when I need it.
Absolutely.
But he does have the auto pass.
Into Morty here on 3s, no
-1,
rerolls,
but
no
+1.
explosions.
No, you don't get the
No, I don't
aura.
get +1.
So yeah, -1.
So -1 because of my asthma went
Yes.
off, right? And I could not deny that. With the range, and then looking for 4s.
Big.
Okay, that
So
is going to be 4.
4 ups. I dropped 2. When this is damage 1?
1 damage.
Make 1.
Down to 3.
He should be dying. There's not a world in which he doesn't
Well,
die.
it's going to be cultist shots.
Of course it is.
Let's see what it is. And, whatever I need to do to get those shots in, I would have probably shuffled them up a little bit to bring them up in here. So let me just get them in there so they get those shots. There's no reason for them to hang back.
For sure. Also, I don't know if you know, the drones can heroic up to 6 inches.
Yes, I am outside 6, I believe.
Yeah, cool. You're good there. I'm just thinking here.
He might be coming up trying to tag that drone, actually.
Yeah, I figured.
I think he's going to try to hit Morty and then tag the drone, but
Cool.
of course that could whiff. We will see.
We will see.
So there's going to be some cultist pistols and auto guns. So it's
Yeah.
5 pistols, 5 guns.
Uh-huh.
Just going to try to get a
5,
chip here. So looking at 15. 5s.
5s and 6s.
And then 6s.
He is woundable.
1 save, please.
I think you'll get it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
he
The
takes
cultist did it. It's down to 2.
They've earned their paycheck.
Do I burn a CP for Demon Bolt?
Ooh, do you have minus? Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah,
Yeah, with a wing. I go get line of sight.
Definitely.
Do I have range?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. A reason not to is I actually do want him to be charged for the movement. Otherwise,
Also,
I'm
if
not.
you roll a 1, it sucks.
It's immortal, right? Or is it totally dead?
I think it just does nothing. I don't know.
I think I take immortal if it's a 1.
Oh, maybe. No, that's not in here, but.
But I think, can I get attacks through with this guy? Basically, hits
I
on
just think
4s,
you get 1
wounds
through
on
and
2s.
he's dead.
Yeah, I think I have to just do that.
Yeah.
So
And you have the other one.
I don't want to burn a CP right now when I can use that CP for something more important later in the game,
Yeah.
like a tide. So I think I have to take risks here and not do that.
For sure.
So I'm in charge from the Lord of Skulls
Did
in
you
the
shoot
morning.
the Disco Lord
I'll do the Disco Lord shots.
into the drone? maybe?
I'm gonna charge the drone
Into the
with
character?
him. Yeah, good points there. You reduce damage. Honestly, he would have been great into that Word Bearers, but I already did the D6.
Yeah.
I think I do a pistol from the Master Possession,
Sure.
which misses.
See, and that
That was a 1. That was a 1. I think I'm gonna do the autocannon into Morty. Just try to bring it down to 1.
Sure.
1 hit because
hit.
no +1, but it doesn't get his own +1. And it is a wound.
Does he not get his own plus? Oh, because
Okay,
no aura.
you turn off my aura.
We're good.
There's fine. All right, so we're gonna do the Lord of Skulls into Morty. A 2 will fail, but he's fine.
Yep,
Because
that's
there's
healthy.
difficult terrain there.
Yeah.
So he's moving 5.
Yep.
So I will take advantage of that to move myself off this objective, but within 3 of the Master Possessions. So I still get some
Absolutely.
protection there.
Got to do that.
And I'm at 19. Another thing I considered doing is spending a CP to heal 3. It doesn't give me anything, really.
Yeah.
And now I am going to charge from the disco into that drone.
Not both?
Into both, yeah.
Okay,
it has
cool.
to be both. I mean, it is going to be a 7-inch. I think I'm within 5, so it's going to be a 6-inch into the drone.
Sure.
The reason to do that is I think that the other guy can kill Morty.
Yep.
If not, Morty's going to interrupt and kill the disco anyway.
Yeah.
So I think I have to take risks and do that play now.
Sure.
So it's a 6. I have a CP reroll if needed. I fail on a 5.
Nice.
I'm not getting any rerolls for anything else, so I think I'm going to have to use it here.
Yeah.
And
There you go.
So on a 9, I'm only moving 7, but I am going to use that to move myself up this way.
We just tagged Morty, right? Yeah,
I did tag Morty.
Cool.
Just getting myself right in there.
Yeah, looks good.
Any reason to base you? You might interrupt anyway, so I think I'm actually going to base this guy.
That makes sense. Not that I'd get much out of it, but it never hurts to stop the play.
There we go.
You never know what you don't see until you don't see it.
Exactly. So I'm going to try to kill Morty now with Lord of Skulls.
Cool.
If not, we're in a bad spot.
Yeah. So I have 2 CP, so I can either interrupt with the drone or burn a CP reroll on Morty.
Absolutely.
And once I burn a CP reroll on Morty, I don't have interrupt CP.
That's the thing. So I'm hoping to push that. But it is 4s and then 2s.
Yeah. So if you have enough to kill me, then I will not be burning it. And if you don't... Ooh, okay. Not bad. Not bad. All right.
2 saves.
2. So 2 is the number in which it
Let's
could
see.
go either way. So first one. Oh.
Ooh. Are you going to CP that? Because
Ooh.
I think it's tough now. You've actually done it correctly. You're rolling them one at a time.
Right.
It's often hard in games to realize you have to do that, but because you're rolling them one at a time, it makes it harder for you. It's to your disadvantage,
Yes.
which is the correct way of playing.
You're right. So at this point, I don't think I roll enough. I have to roll unodds, like non-realistic odds of disgustings. And then it's a 4 up.
It's a flat 5 damage coming in here.
Right, and it's a 4 up invul, and I'd have to make. So 50-50, instead of getting some value out of punching you with the drone, I think it's more valuable to take my 2 CP interrupt. So I will roll the other save regular, which I also fail. Wouldn't have been worth it.
10 damage, exactly. Would not have been worth it. Good call.
And unless I rolled disgustingly resilient, which was good, but not great.
Still 7 through.
Now, do I explode on a 4 up?
Yep, this could be bad.
I do.
Yes, you do.
It's 6 inches for D3 against Nurgle. Your master possession's fine. These dudes are fine. These dudes are fine. So it's just the skull, Lord of Skulls, and the Disco Lord. So Lord of Skulls takes 3. Disco Lord takes 1.
Okay, that brings him down to 11.
I would have preferred that to be reversed.
Yep.
Proportional and to scale.
That's fine. So I will punch you now with my last CP.
This is the drone?
This is the drone.
Okay, so I take 3 here, right? And then 1. Yep,
Yeah,
so I'm
3 and
down
1.
to 16 on this guy. I will consolidate once Morty is removed.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to come up, but also stay within 3 of my master possession.
Sure, I'll pull that guy. Oops. Pull that guy for you. You did well, Morty. You earned your points today.
So one thing I could do...
Doing 27 to the Lord of Skulls was bonkers.
That was nuts.
Yeah, Morty goes to Mortaritaville.
I was hoping I could maybe go this certain way here. I think I'm going to have to just squeeze over this way 3.
Yeah.
And
Lined up a little
the master
closer.
possession might actually be safe, so I might actually leave him alone there. The reason to do that...
I do have the mortars.
The mortars. Nope, don't leave them alone.
All right.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yep, this is the drone.
-1 to hit because there's no more Morty turning off my auras.
Wow, and I had really bad hit rolls anyway, so that's not good.
Toughness 6.
So 3s, rerolling, full house.
AP.
-2 damage 2.
So that is 5 saves, damage 2, so he's not dying.
At least you don't have a scary one who's -1 damage.
Yeah, I do like running that trait normally.
Yeah.
So 4s.
Oh!
Ooh, he does not take anything.
He's 5 up in Vuln. Cursed Earth went off.
2 up armor.
Oh, cool, cool.
So he's fine with
You're
AP
good
saves.
either way because you have Cursed Earth, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, no, I denied Cursed Earth.
You denied Cursed Earth, but
It
the
doesn't
2 up armor makes it work.
Cool. All right. Well, you can't pile in now because you've based me already.
I've based you.
But you can punch me.
Exactly. And I burned the CP in the charge, otherwise I would totally give myself
Forge.
rerolls again here.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
Unfortunately not. Demon Forge would be really critical here to get the kill, but I don't think I'm getting the kill. I think I'm just basing you and keeping you from doing anything next turn.
Yeah.
Forcing you to fall back.
Yeah. I'm not too excited about that.
So here are his attacks. This is with the Beast. Cool. This is the Rider first. Rider has to go first.
Yep, go for it.
Hitting on 2s.
Yeah, no minuses.
And then strength 8 on the charge.
Wow, T7, so.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
cocked, and that's ugly. That would have
Yeah.
been some good Demon Forge. So
Cool.
2 wounds.
2.
AP 2 for 2 damage, which won't matter.
5 ups. Make 1 fail 1.
1 wound.
Take 1 damage.
And this is the Mecha Tendrils.
Yep.
2 hits. Mecha Tendrils. 1 wounds. AP nothing.
You can reroll that if you want. Outside the box.
Oh, okay. Sure thing. It was just a 1. Now it's 2 wounds.
Yeah.
AP nothing.
Give it to you.
1 more wound.
Yes, sir.
And now we have the beast. 3 hits. And the beast looking to win a force. 2 wounds. AP2.
Solid.
AP2. So they both go through.
Takes
And they're D3 looking to spike. Just 1 each.
So down to 4.
Down to 4. And now we have the last AP4 weapon.
D6, right?
It's just D3, but D3 extra mortals to vehicles.
Oh, okay,
So
that's
equivalent,
what I
basically. Oh, and he fails to hit. He just needs to wound to get D3 mortals.
Yeah. All right. So end of your turn, you had your 2 banners.
2
you
banners.
raised a banner over there, right?
No, he did cast.
Spells. Okay.
So he
no
cannot
banner.
raise. But he's set up to raise a banner next turn.
Right,
was the
gotcha.
idea.
And then you didn't engage again, which is unfortunate.
I did not. And that's my 3rd turn, and I only had 2
Yeah.
points on engage. So you
Yeah.
are. I am.
Oh, oops. I had you at 4 points on engage.
Oh yeah.
Only
I'm
at
only
2.
at 2.
Yeah.
So I'm in this really tough points hole. Even though if this Lord of Skulls ends up being unkillable, I think I still lose the game, and there's a chance that you still kill things.
Yeah. So I'm going to fly 10 this way
Sounds good.
and potentially heroic you if you don't deal with me.
I think you can't heroic.
Not on my turn, but on your turn.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if
That
you
makes
don't
sense.
deal with me on
You're
your
forcing me to deal with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes total sense.
So I only have 1 CP now, which burning 2 to not do anything to the Disco Lord hurt. He did take 1 though, or no?
He took 1 previously. He's 11.
He's at 11. Okay.
He took 1 from the explosion.
Gotcha.
And if he killed you, he would have healed D3, or he would have healed that guy for D3.
Right.
So I'm sad I didn't kill you.
Yeah. And the other one's on 19 or 11? Or
He's
something?
less. He's at 16
16. Okay.
because he was at 19 and then he took 3 from the explosion.
Yeah. So like you were saying, we're in a okay spot right now.
Mm-hmm.
I need to just play the mission, and including the secondary mission. That's all I really have to do. Assuming I continue to get my 10 on primaries, and that's really all I have to do. There's no way I can get closer to this guy, right? 26. It's about equidistant. I would say you planned it so that I can't shoot the character.
That was the plan. I
Yeah.
could always have him edge a little bit further back off
Yeah,
that
yeah.
objective.
No
he doesn't
worries.
need to be that full half inch onto it.
Yeah, all good. So I'll probably be, if I touch the terrain here, I can shoot the Disco Lord. If I touch the terrain here, I can shoot the Disco Lord. Then I get shot back.
Yeah.
The question is picking up the Disco Lord so critical? I don't have 2 CP to outbreak this guy anymore, which is unfortunate.
Well, you get 1 at the beginning of your turn, and you already tally man. That's
and
right.
I already
So you're at
tallied,
1.
yeah. So the game plan is keep scoring my banners, make sure I can't get shut off on banners. So I think for that reason, I'm going to bring the Poxwalkers up to get OBSEC on this objective.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's any way you're not in range to warp time.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Demonettes are going more than 7.
And they're not warp timeable anyway, being demons.
Right. So you are max threat range of, you don't have an advance in charge.
And they
or
don't have
either.
advance in charge.
So
They're
you're-
just there for that 5-up invuln on an OBSEC body.
So potentially 19-inch threat range.
Yes.
But you'd have to really roll hot, including the -2 for this crater. So I'm going to make it so that you can't really charge me this turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, there's not much benefit for me doing that since it won't knock you off your primary.
Right, you'd have to do two different primaries. So in that case, we might actually go aggro since it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It makes sense. And I mean, you also would block my engage. Anything that you do to stop me coming up.
Yeah.
Blocks
I think I'm going to
engage.
set myself up to, because I have the 3 guys laid out so that if they all move up,
Yeah.
1 can potentially go for a cheap charge there if I kill him in shooting, or go finish him off in combat there if I don't kill him in shooting. Oops. But...
Yeah. All I have really to defend myself here is a forest. We'll see what it does.
Yep, and now these dudes are out. I'll have the flamer from the Blight spawn, and once he moves up, I can throw him away. You're not playing Assassinate.
Exactly. Exactly. This is where your late game might actually have a lot of tools still.
You can go 5. And just come on to that. I will advance to get more bodies on it.
Sure.
For an extra 2. Oh, sorry, I technically moved 4. I always forget about that. With the new rules. Who you wanna? Yeah, Patrick.
Oh, for the Poxwalkers?
Oh, no, Patrick.
I'm going to pull my mic for a second.
Yeah.
Cut it.
All right, so I'll keep going. So I have some plays. Just need to stay alive. I will be shooting into. So he has, yeah, he's taken 11, so he's 16, I think. It's unclear if I pick him up. It's not the most likely, but I can throw some smites. I think the things I want to do are smite, try to kill those things. I have this protected, I have this locked down. I'm not going to get my banners taken away from me. I've already killed the Titan, and I just need to keep my Terminators alive, which currently there's no real way for him to get to them. So I'll make sure they're an inch off the wall. And then I will, again, there's no real play of denying him points, but I could go to take down his banners, which actually would be an interesting play if I take them down before once he sets them up. So 6, I can't make a charge there, but I will advance the cultists and see what I roll. A big 1. That's unfortunate. So going 7 is not going to do me that much. So I'm thinking if I try to deny the banners play by bringing the cultists out, but I rolled a 1 on my advance, which is getting me to here. So that's pretty unfortunate. I don't know if it's even worth taking them out yet. He has no way to get obsec here. Yeah, whatever. I'll do it. It just sets me up to take your banner down next turn. And you have no way to put obsec over here. I mean, I suppose if you Tide of Traitors, but you're on 0 CP.
0 CP.
So
I spent out my charge with the Blight Drone, which is worth it. I did 5 damage.
And I went second, right?
Yeah.
So
You have a big primary advantage in the late game.
So I could potentially keep my cultists for a late game warp time play.
You do have a Tide of Traitors yourself late.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just wait on that, unfortunately.
That makes sense.
They're just gonna hide as close to the edge as they can. They could be tagged on the other side of the wall. Terminators cannot. And we'll just fill that out. All right, and so the real thing is the target priority this turn. Is it going into the Disco Lord or is it going into the Lord of Skulls? Disco Lord is how many wounds? 11?
11.
Okay. And then the last thing is the casters, where I am going to go with 18 inches. About here. I'll roll an advance for the Plaguecaster. 3 might be enough.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he'll be just out of line of sight, an inch off the walls. Tallyman's still chilling. That'll just get me a smite onto Lord of Skulls. And yeah, see how it goes. I could even like try to do warp times, but no, I only have 1 CP and it's not worth doing that play yet. So psychic phase, we will smite the question is now like, which one am I going for? Yeah. Well, I have to go into the smite.
You have to go into
Lord
of Skulls.
Smite there. Ugh.
You're not within 12, so it's not perils.
Yeah,
from
that's
the master possession.
My other spell could be the Contagion, which they don't have Contagion at the moment, so I just miasma on the Terminators, which fails on a 4.
Okay.
So swinging psychic phase all of a sudden. Instead of having 3 psychers, now I only have 1.
Yep. I did try
right.
to remove your tool there.
Yeah, that's fine. What is this charge? It's an 8.
It's an 8. You can just avoid the forest. Yep.
Yep. And then this way, it's a about a 9, I guess. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, looks like a 9.
In that case, I want to punch this thing and shoot that thing. I think the Death Shroud can do work to this guy.
Yeah, and killing another Lord of Skulls is another 8-point swing because it's 5 off my while we stand.
100%. So we'll shoot the first thing first.
Yep.
So it'll be everything into the Lord of Skulls because why not? Both hit.
Nice.
Reroll 1s for Plague Weapon.
Plague Weapon on Entropy.
Ugh, would have been nice.
5 up since you denied my power. Goes through.
D3 plus 1 plus 3 for 6.
Another down to 10. He's got to hide.
All right, and Mortar for 3.
Yep.
We got 2 hits and reroll nothing. That T8 hurts. So the next one, we're gonna go Plague Burst the guns into there, and we're gonna put the mortar into the Disco Lord.
Sounds good.
Because we want to soften him up a little bit.
Yeah, otherwise you could be in a bad spot.
Sluggers, all hit. Sluggers, 2 wounds.
2 wounds from a slugger.
On the Lord.
That was onto the disco, right?
Onto that.
Onto the Lord of Skulls.
-1. Sorry. I guess Lord Discordant and Lord of Skulls.
yeah, I didn't know which one was taking it. So down to 9.
Yeah, because I don't technically have line of sight onto the thing. So everything into there, and then the mortar into the,
makes sense.
The guy. And I have 1 CP. What do I need to see for? I need to reroll my charge, so I can't spend it now. So the entropies, 1 hit, 1 wound.
Okay.
And then the D6 mortar for 3 shots, 2 hits, no wounds.
No wounds. This is 1 save on the Lord of Skulls, which takes it
for 6.
Another 6.
That hurts.
He's taking 10 from that.
Yep. And then random plink shots, which have 1 more wound on the Lord of Skulls at -1.
So he's looking for a save at -1, which he fails. He's down to 2.
So he just ate 13 wounds or something.
Yeah,
right?
he ate 14.
He's down to 2.
Coming in big.
Wow.
He's down to 2. Those entropy cannons behind ruins are just a real nightmare for him to deal with.
So
some flamers.
Do I want to shoot the flamer into the Lord of Skulls?
Yeah.
We'll do the weak flamers into the Disco Lord because we're winning on 5s instead of 6s. Oh no, you're T6, aren't you?
I am T6.
And I'm only strength 6, so it's 6s either way. So
he has a 2-up save versus the 3-up.
Okay. So we'll put all the guys into the guy.
Yep.
10, 20
That's
shots.
a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Just need 6s though.
5, 10.
Oh, if he goes down to
15,
weak flamers, that's just so sad.
20. Is it more ignominious than the
I think so.
than the 27 wounds? Reroll 1s. It's more ignominious defeat than we got 2 so far.
2.
Then 4.
4.
Could do it.
That's probably possible.
I don't think so. I think you got it.
No, he's fine.
Whew! You don't care.
He's got to stick around.
All right, so then I'm going to shoot the flamer on the Blight spawn.
Yep.
And I'm tempted to go into, I think I'm strength 7, so I definitely go into the Disco Lord better.
Yeah.
But
if you get the 2 wounds off Lord of Skulls, that's back-breaking.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's the harder charge anyway, so I think I'm going to go, even though it's winning on 5s.
Yeah.
It is strength 7. All right, so here we go. And I do have I spent the 10 points to get the reroll on number of shots.
Mm-hmm.
So D6 shots, and
it paid off.
I think I'll spend, that was into a 1.
1 into a 1.
So on a 5, rerolling 1s.
Did you spend a CP there?
No, I did not spend a CP.
Pre-game.
I have a
purchase.
Yeah. Still have 1 CP.
Oh yeah, holding on to that charge for dear life.
Terminators. Should have shot this first. Everything into the Lord of Skulls.
Oh yeah.
1 hit, 1 wound. -2.
-2, 5 up here.
Could be oh, got him with the plink. That's damage 2.
That's the flat 2 damage, right?
Yeah.
So that's him. On a 6, does he blow up? No.
All right.
Oof.
But no explosions.
50% chance over the course of the game that one of them does, right?
And then it does. It probably picks up the Master Possession because it does D6 mortals.
I declared all my shots already, so nothing to go into the Master Perception. So I'll try to make an 8-inch charge into the Disco Lord. I roll a 4, and I'll spend my last CP. Disco Lord. I roll a 7, and I'm 99% sure it's
I think that's far. It's too far.
Absolutely, it's a full 8. It's a full 8. It's a full 8.
Well.
Wait, well. Yeah, it's a full 8.
Yeah, I think
even
so.
To there, it's full 8.
And that's difficult terrain there, so that's when you're taking -2.
Cool, that's all I got. So got my banners. Got the banner again. Killed the last Titan.
Absolutely. That's going to put me with very few tools left here. I think I could try to go for an engage, but then probably lose the Lord Discordant. His base is wider than 3 inches, so he can't go here and get me an engage. He has to be around the side of this wall. So engage is a real tough one right now for me. I'm just going to go speed play into the turn to sort of see, hey, what kind of tactics can I still use to try to get points back?
If you're playing a tournament, like how could you get the max points, basically?
Exactly. I mean, I think
banner over there.
Reasons to do that, ways to do that would be to try to just get my 40 on primary still, try not to lose the 40 on primary. Try to get a lot on banners.
And maybe
This one's a
engage.
threat, so I have to remove him.
Yeah.
I could pull back so that these ones are unlikely to make the charge. The
Yeah.
thing is, though, that if this Blight Drone
'Cause
gets in,
it's like a 6-ish.
yeah. What I could do is give up primary here
And focus on that side.
in order to focus on that side.
You only need 2.
Exactly. Although I do lose the banner then, though. So
true.
the reason to keep towing it is there. And these guys, when 3 of them get into the Demonettes, that's a lot of
With the
damage.
sweep, yeah, it's a bunch of attacks.
So maybe what I do is I sort of put the Demonettes here into him, and he goes there. Problem is, the Demonette doesn't kill him, then I'm in a bad spot.
He is wounded heavily. But
He is heavily wounded, is all I can
so you
sort of
could
say to his
shoot him and
advantage.
then charge him.
That's true, but shoot him with what?
Like the autocannon.
Cultists. Yeah, the autocannons might want. He might want to be going off that way, though.
Also, you could probably catch a smite on him.
Yeah, I probably could get a smite
But
on
then
him.
you're bannering.
But then I'm not bannering. So I
yeah.
think I need a. I think I'm just going to do something relatively simple where he comes up, tows that, then goes for a charge that way, so he can still shoot that way, just for a few more plink wounds. And then these cultists are going to pull themselves back with the auto guns for like 5 random shots.
Yeah.
It really is a question of getting off just a few shots. Your toughness 6 though, so the Demonettes are
T7.
T7, yeah, higher than the strength of the Demonettes can do.
Yeah.
So it's really a bummer, and you can just spend a CP here in heroic. Alternatively, I just let myself get charged by them, but then I'm possibly losing the whole squad. They have 4 attacks each on the charge.
And when I sweep, it's 18 attacks from the squad.
Yeah, that's going to kill the Demonettes, most likely. I could pop a 1 CP strat for -1 attack, just to keep them around, and then to make them hard to do damage.
And that would actually, I don't know.
I still could lose them to morale, and then I just lost the Demonettes. So I think
would you take 3 attacks off me, or would you take like 6 attacks off me?
It is just, because it's 2 dice
it's a
per sweep. It would be
Kinda.
6 attacks off of you.
Depending how that wording looks. I think if I make the attack with the profile, it just is, you make 2 attacks instead.
Okay, but so let's check it out, because if it's 2 dice or not. If I reduce your data sheet's number of attacks, what does that look like? I think I do have to guarantee that he's
It says
removed.
each time an attack is made, make 2 hit rolls. So it sounds like you would reduce the
I
attacks.
would reduce it by 2, so 2 hit rolls down is actually
6 attacks. So then I'm only doing 12 attacks on the charge.
Yeah, same with him. He has 4 attacks, reduces to 3, so I also could charge him and just reduce his attacks into me.
True.
12. It's tough to just know what to do with the disco right now. He's just not doing much work into them.
No,
so I
he's not.
think I do just go for damage back here.
Pull back and just try to keep
back.
1 demon up for the next
I also
turn.
can hide him too from your damage dealers. And
You'll
then
have your banner, and if I nuke that character with mortars, then you still get your 10.
I'll still have a banner up there, exactly. I
Unlikely
think
I kill all 10 demonettes.
he just hangs out here and raises a banner, and that's
Yep.
potentially where the mortar's going to go.
Yep.
And then I just do damage here.
Yeah, kill that guy and then hold 2.
Exactly. I think I can put some shots at least into these guys to try to plink them. I think I'm pretty confident he can do the rest of the work here with
And
the
I
Demonets.
don't have interrupts, so you're probably fine.
So let's
You
just...
can roll for that CP though.
Oh, sure, I will.
Yes.
He's taking 2 or something? Or 1? I do get a CP.
So he's just raising the banner there, getting me that banner. Those cultists have no reason to come out.
This guy's only down 1 wound, right?
He's only down 1 and he heals it, so he's fine
So
now.
that's fine, cool.
And also he's going to be hidden back here for another turn.
Yep.
So I am just going to do the 5 plink shots.
Yeah.
4s and then 6s.
Yep.
1 save.
Good.
He's fine. And then I'm going to do autocannon probably into the Death Shroud. Just hoping.
2 hits.
2 hits, yep.
Oh, they were miasma. I failed
but
it.
plus 1 hit. So
I failed it.
anyway, yeah, so plus 1
that
hit.
1 wound?
1 wound.
Fail.
1 damage, because you reduce it.
Yeah.
Okay, one damage I can take, and then we'll do the charges from the Demonettes and from the Lord Discordant here.
Yep, you can just have him.
Unfailable.
Yep.
Now let's jump in here.
Yeah.
I do want to be able to consolidate, just getting myself hidden that
Yeah, if
way.
you can do whatever you want. I would say just roll the attacks on the Disco Lord.
Let's do the
see
Disco
if you can
does.
Pick them up. Do you want to do the D3, the damage one first?
Do I want to do? You're down to 4. Do I want to reroll everything?
I think you're just gonna pick me up.
I think it kill you anyway with the Demonettes too.
Yeah.
I think I roll the Demonettes first, and that way see if I take off 1 or 2 wounds. That then I can know if I want a Demon Forge or not. So let's roll his Demonettes just quickly. Just a 21 dice, 5. I would find 2 ranks into you. I think I actually, one of them has to hold that objective still, so I keep one of them on it.
Sure.
So it's only 19 dice into you. But it's 3s and then 6s at AP 4.
Yes, it is. It's when you wound, they're at AP 4.
Of which I've done none.
Oof. All right.
I think I just still don't do the Demon Forge on him, though.
I think you still get him.
Yep.
I was thinking, do you want to just do the Techno thing for the D3 Mortals?
Yeah,
first?
let's see the D3 Mortals. Let's do Technovirus.
Yeah.
Even though it's supposed to be last,
Yeah,
order
yeah.
doesn't matter. He hits, He's a 3. He wounds, so
Yeah.
that's automatically D3 mortals.
I failed to save.
Fail
so
to save, so it's 2d3 that goes through. Oh, D3 mortals for 1,
Okay.
and then 2d3 for 2.
So
So down to
down
1
to one.
already. And then the rider, everything hits. The rider wounds on 3s. That's any save you fail, he's dead.
Cool.
He's
Dead.
gone.
And
Yep.
does he explode? No.
Okay.
Cool.
And then I'll just have him consolidate 3 just to hide from your mortars for the
Yeah.
next turn.
Sounds good.
Hide from your
All right. So that's your
Entropies.
turn. You'll get the 2 on banners. You still got your 10 on
consolidate
primary.
back. They can't consolidate back. They just need to stay there.
Yeah. All right. And so top of my turn, I'll get the 10 again.
Yep.
I will just make a play for the last turn to get a hold more. To get
100%.
Yeah. And then I should have 15.
Try to get 15 on your last turn, exactly.
What's my? Oh yeah. So I'll have a 95-point game, pretty much, assuming I don't
Yep.
botch the last while he stands. Right.
So they're going to go up here for a charge
Yeah.
into the Demonettes,
Yeah. I think
as
that's.
we're told. And I'm going to try to pop -1 attack. So I'm glad I saved that CP for that.
Yep. He's gonna advance and try to grab a. With 8, he can touch this building.
Yep. And then grab a nice Master Possession shot. Master Possession's down to 3 wounds remaining, so he's not too happy.
Yep. I can't smite. I'm not gonna have any targets with the playcaster, so I'm not even gonna bother. And these guys are hanging out. I'll technically push in advance just in case. So they can go 8. That's fine. They'll come to here.
Yep.
Shuffles, shuffles, shuffles. Italian's chilling. Plague Burst. I'm not going to be able to draw any line of sight. It's just going to be out of line of sight shooting.
Yep.
And we will advance this cultist over there for a 3.
For a 3.
Just to set up a play for the following turn.
Absolutely.
You have a banner there, so
So we can pull it off after I've raised it.
That mortar can remove that mortar possession, I'm guessing.
yeah, but he's still going to get the banner there. He already put it
Oh
up.
yeah, but we can time traders onto that, right?
Tide Traders is going to
it's
be hard because I don't know if it's within 6 of the edge.
Yeah, I also have to be 9 away, so I can't.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna advance the sorcerer and try to just get within like use my.
Yeah, those are
9.
just the way these objectives are set up. Is a lot of times most missions objectives are more than 6 away
Yeah.
from the edge. So Tide Traders doesn't get you on. You need to make a charge.
I'm gonna just do like I can't even get there honestly. I don't think it worked. But I will come with these dudes out just to character protect. I don't think there's any way you can kill 5 Blight Lords over here.
Yep.
Especially with 2 in cover.
Playcaster outside 12, so no surprise perils.
Yep. That's all we got. So we'll go to the psychic phase.
Yep.
I will miasma. These dudes goes off.
These dudes, I assume you mean the Death Shroud?
I'll try to
Death
deny.
Shroud. Sure.
Fail.
All right. I think that's it. No smites. Shooting phase. Do the blight, the foul blight spawn.
You got it. Ooh, 6 shots.
Yeah. And strength 7. So the 3s don't do anything. That means so the 2s don't do anything. Sorry.
I'm toughness 5 with
Yeah.
Obsidian. I have a 5 invuln, and I go down.
You take 4. Yeah. So you go down. Cool. So that'll be 2 mortars into this guy here. I don't
Yep.
think 2 mortars picks up the cultists.
And he's fully healed up thanks to killing that Blight Spawn. He heals D3.
Yeah. He doesn't actually worry me, so I am just going to put the 2d6 into the cultist.
Makes sense.
For 9.
Yeah.
3,
They have a morale
4,
issue too, potentially.
7, 8, 9. Yeah, this isn't going to do too much, but like you'll probably have 1 on the objective. Plague weapons though. So I mean it does pick up 7.
Just kill 7. Exactly.
And yeah, that's my turn except for the charge here.
Okay.
So I'll just charge the Demonettes because I don't think I can reach the other ones.
Yep, makes sense.
I don't even know what the charge is. That's definitely.
And an 11.
You have to be within an inch, right, to like hold this objective.
Yeah.
So I'll just go there. Although I do need to kind of come through in order to.
Yeah, to do, and then
In
you
order to
kind
swing
of
through.
have engagement issues of
Yeah. So
heroics.
I'll go 11 and let you heroic me.
Sounds good. Yeah, that just means then you can punch me too. So that's also ties me. I'm not going to one-shot your squad, and that just ties up the disco for the next turn.
Yeah.
So
Do that. Would you like to heroic?
I actually think you're just going to pile in into me anyway
Yeah, I
to
will.
tie me up so I can't get engaged points with them. So I will heroic.
Sure thing.
And I'll heroic.
I'll
Who's
make sure.
who's the wounded guy in that squad?
This back dude.
So yeah, so there's not much benefit I get from there. I will just heroic like this.
Sure thing.
Get some free movement out of it.
Cool. So I will sweep into your Demonettes.
Yeah, I will use a -1 attack strat.
Sure thing. So
So I'm
then
down to 0.
Instead of having 4 attacks each, I go to 3 attacks each.
Yep.
Which goes to 6, 6, and 8.
Thanks to a sergeant. Makes sense.
Yeah, and 8. 3, 4. So 8, 6, 6. Wait, did I do that right?
Yep.
I did that right?
8, and then 6 and 6. Yep.
Yeah. Does that make sense though? Don't they have 4, 8?
They have 5, 4, 4 normally, so it becomes is higher than
4,
that.
8 plus 5, right? It's 13, so it should be 26, but instead I'm rolling 6, 12, 8. Yeah.
Yeah, looks good. You're rolling 20. Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay. They're not +1 from the tallyman, so that's fine. Well, it didn't matter because they hit on 2s.
Oh, nice. Still doing the job, probably, but we'll see. Strength?
Probably on 3s.
Probably on 3s.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're...
Actually, strength 7. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I'll double check that.
Let's check that. We'll keep those 2s on the side.
Yeah.
So this -1 attack play actually might not have paid off at all.
Yeah, strength 7.
Oh,
Oh,
so
sorry, strength 5.
Strength 5. So I do have 1 remaining. She needs to auto pass for me to live.
Cool.
All right, hold that. Keep holding that objective.
Yeah.
2 remaining would have been nice.
Yeah.
1 remaining is not looking good.
Yeah. 2 remaining is like pretty solid.
So rolling cultist morale.
Sure.
No, I will hit you back
Yeah.
with the 1 demonette.
Sure.
I'll keep the sergeant.
Cool.
Well, she misses twice. And then does she wound? No.
Nope.
And then we'll do the
disco.
disco. He did heroic, so he does get whatever +1.
Yep.
Hateful assault.
-1 for my asthma.
+1 from himself, so he's
2s.
back to 2s.
One.
Just 1. AP2?
Yeah, Foreman 1.
Yep, absolutely. And then the 2 mecha tendrils. No reroll, just 1 hit. That is a wound. AP nothing.
Nope.
And then the
Damage
5.
is 1.
You have 2 up save, and there's AP nothing on that one.
Oh, true. Sorry.
And this is the beast winning on 3s. 2 saves.
Make them both.
And then the technovirus hits. Doesn't wound.
Oh, okay.
So he completely bounces off of these death shrouds.
Which kind of doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise. So here's morale on that demonette.
Hey!
Hold the objective still.
That keeps you at 10 primary.
So -1 attack play.
Although unless you whiff over here.
Unlikely. Yeah, it does.
If you rolled
Right,
2
whiff
1s
there.
and 2s after the fact.
All right, cultists.
Oh!
Whoa.
Supreme bravery.
Not today, I say.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay. So I think this is
Good
my
point to call
last
it.
turn.
All right, yeah, we can just play it out. If you
No,
want.
I think what I'll do is just to keep holding.
Yep.
Well, I regain my 10 primary. Nothing else matters at this point
Yeah.
for the 10 primary. And I can't get anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I do just keep my OPSEC on both of these objectives. You're going to be able to steal that objective from me and
You
hold
got
more
your
than
3
me.
banners for the turn, but then you won't get them on the last turn.
So I still will be able to get.
So you got 3 banners now and 10.
Yeah. If she falls back there, can I fall back in a way where you're not going to shoot them off? And probably not. So you're probably going to take this objective from me. Because you can just pile into me
I'll
now
pile
with
into
him.
you, yeah.
Exactly, and then punch her out. So she doesn't really want to go anywhere other than out 7 from you, where I'll just get shot the next turn
Yeah.
to avoid the pile-in attack. So she's kind of doomed.
Yeah.
I don't really see any
Yeah.
any way to avoid getting any more points. I'm not going to wipe the squad with a disco right now.
No.
And that's going to be it for me.
Yeah. Don't even need to roll it.
So I won't get any more engage, and you'll get your 45 to my 40 on primary.
Yeah. So then the last turn, I either push the cultist there, or just kill the squad here, and then I have 4 at the end of the turn. So going second gets me that 15 on primary. Maxing out banners for full 15. Lost 5 on while we stand, so getting 10 on while we stand, and killed all 3 titans, which is honestly insane.
All 3 titans.
Yeah.
That's a total of 90 wounds or so
Yeah.
that you did since they healed up a little bit during the game.
All right, so let's talk about this game real quick. A little wrap up. That was an epic game, man. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, thanks for the game.
So talk about your SKU list. How do you feel about it going into Death Guard?
So I think this game is representative, even though luck, wasn't on my side sometimes, and it was on my side in others.
The thing about dice, right, is it does swing.
Yeah.
So I think dice are overall fair, but the thing that isn't fair about dice is when they swing.
Yeah.
And that turn 2, it swung for you at a really bad time, and there's no arguing that.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like the way this list is built too. It needs to win the battle of just dealing damage, and it bounced. It basically forcing me to take risks, which the risks sometimes will pay off, but often actually with reducing my rerolls and my auras, then the dice are against me, and then I'm forced to basically have a primary. I'm down on primary and secondary, and I have potentially an average dice result that's also hard. So I think you played defensively correctly, and your list was built to deny a lot of what makes my list tick.
The durability, it's interesting. Like, it's almost an arms race, right? Where, over the editions, units have gotten more and more killy and more killy. And then in the arms race, in our even historical context here, like, what then becomes very strong in an arms race is defensive measures. And so, not to get really historical on you, but it's like you've got rocket systems and nuclear launched missiles, right? Then the next best thing in the arms race is how can you shoot the rockets out of the sky? What kind of defense systems do you have? And so durability actually becomes the counter to very high efficiency shooting and melee. And so it's interesting to see a list that's so focused on killing kind of bounce into the very durable counter.
Yeah, and we see it though. Like the first turn, I did 12 wounds on your Terminators with just one Lord of Skulls with line of sight. So your defenses maybe exist more as you're removing auras and rerolls than just the -1 damage. -1 damage, people when it first came out, they're like, oh, 5 Feeling of Pain is probably better. And that might be true, but your ability to mitigate my movement to keep me from shooting you is even better defense.
Oh yeah, trapped you in that no slower movement bubble and then the no aura bubble as well. So that combination of the drone and Mortarion next to each other is actually really deadly.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, removing Mortarion was critical, and I failed to do it fast enough.
Picking up one of those two pieces is definitely makes that fall apart a bit. Yeah, I mean, I think. Do you feel like the SKU list is like you were just saying? You think it is representative of kind of like how it would go into Death Guard?
Yeah, I think that there's not too many paths to victory for that list without taking risks, and it's kind of fun to take the risks. But I'd say that list was also honed into Marines.
Yeah.
If you're going against Marines, you want 2 damage. You want the number of shots that explodes.
And you have rerolls, so you're probably
and you have rerolls.
Marines.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of work into Marines, but this new Death Guard world might mean a shift away from the Marine meta. It might not. We might still be seeing Marines everywhere.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting. I definitely some luck swung on the Lord of Skulls, but I'm happy with how the list played today. I played the list yesterday against Black Templars and a 10-man Assault Terminator squad and a 5-man Heavy Eradicator squad, which put some hurt on Mortarion, and he didn't offensively do that much.
Yeah. But
watching him kind of concentrate his attacks with the rerolls and rerolls, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s into a target where 3 plus D3 is efficient. Because into Terminators, it's like, okay, I get minimum 4. Okay, it gets through your apothecary. Great.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
What's the target? It's not.
But when it goes spikes to when it's 5, 5, 5, 5, then it's really potent. So I think Death Guard are like, I think there's a rise of like Primarch models and larger models. I mean, Mortarion is one of them, of course, but I think he does go into those pretty decently. And stacking Miasma on himself to make him durable. Yeah, I mean the Plague Burst. It's such a disadvantage when you're Titanic.
Oh yeah, I think that might actually be your MVP. They just were reliably doing 10 wounds onto Lord of Skulls.
And Prescience, I will say, like I stand by the Dark Hereticus, the splicing and the Word Bearers. I think it was absolutely worth it.
Prescience so great there.
Prescience is great. Warptime is great. Death Hex is great.
Oof, the Death Hex. I think.
Did you miss your base contagion at all? Because I don't think you did.
I didn't get base contagion.
-1 toughness.
Yeah, but I mean,
did I miss it?
Choice is mono. Would you say it was worth giving it up?
Losing Secondaries makes me nervous. On this mission, it did not burn me whatsoever. Titan Slayer was an obvious one. Banners are an obvious one.
Yeah, I did give you some nice secondaries there. I think my one mistake was not bringing the World Eater Cultist up 6 more inches.
Yeah.
Just in case I had foreseen the Mortarion Death Hex play. I was expecting it from the World. You could have still done this though. If I had moved the World Eaters up, you then just bring your Word Bearer Sorcerer close enough for Death Hex to go off from him, and then I can't deny either.
Well, we were saying, because then, right, you still couldn't deny it through the Word Bearer stratagem.
Exactly, and also you would have just pulled. Sure, Mortarion is in range for the Death Hex, but maybe also you bring the Word Bearer
he just
guy
sits
up
over here or something.
Exactly.
If he has to warp time himself or whatever, who knows? So I'm happy with the Word Bearer's patrol. I think losing Secondaries is a bummer. Losing -1 toughness is a bummer.
Yeah.
But this list, the -1 toughness in this list is not how it functions. Like, sure, the Terminators are less efficient when you're not -1, but if they're my While We Stands and my opponent has high threat output, they need to be conservative. They're not out there punching stuff. Blight Lords turn 1 quickly looked at your list and were like, yep, turn around, we got to get out of here.
Turn around. He didn't do anything. Actually, he still was able to shoot because you can see the Lord of Skulls.
I know.
So you're still doing work.
Yeah, so I think the -1 is nice, but Mortarion is wounding toughness 8 models on 2s. The Death Shroud are wounding most stuff. I guess, I mean, there's a little bit of benefit there, but the Death Shroud are already hitting strong. Sure, it'd be great. I think having Warp Time is just such a great play. Having Death Hex, such a great play. There's some armies that just collapse around Death Hex.
Yeah, as we saw here,
yeah.
the lack of 4-up invuln.
Yeah.
4 up to nothing is a giant swing in durability.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to keep testing this army out. You think you're going to stick with the Lord's Goals, or you might have to trash can it?
You know, I have the models.
Yeah.
It's hard to, it's every time a new codex comes out, it's saying, hey, like, what can I do with these guys to make it work again?
And I think it wins like 2 out of 3 games anyway. Like
I think it's great to bring to a tournament if you want to have fast games where you're not timing out.
100%.
Easy to transport.
yeah. And I think you're like 2-1-ing most of the time comfortably with that. So
I think so. I think you do have, for example, if you're going into knights, the knight players, like how did they create models that are so much more efficient than my knights?
Yeah. Absolutely, you make
for
them,
cheaper price points.
Yeah, you make them look silly with how efficient hitting on the rerolls and everything. Demon Forge.
The 6s and 6s.
Yeah, 6s and 6s. But it is aura reliant, and we're seeing like a couple different armies that the Mechanicus have that turn off.
Exactly, and it's probably more fun to play a game, an army that has the tools to do things like you do. Like sure, like mine just sort of walks up the field, and then I create problems for my opponent to solve. Do you want to be the person solving problems in the game, or do you want to be the one who's like
100%
just moving things up?
Yeah, that's why I like playing Eldar too, even though they're not so strong right now. Just having pieces feeling like you're solving a puzzle is definitely more fun than saying deal with this.
Yep.
Dealing with this and saying I skew heavy and I win most of the time is great in a tournament.
Yeah.
But in terms of like kind of like you said, solving the puzzle that is Warhammer, I would agree. It's nice having tools. So I think with that we're gonna wrap up. Hope you enjoyed watching. This was a great game. Thanks for coming out again. And be sure to check out the next battle report and tactical videos coming soon at the Competitive Standard 40K. Take care, guys.
Take care.